see if I'm on here. Yep, I'm on. Right, so I'm making this. This is going to be left up. This is for so that people that are new can see it as well. The last night was deliberate to draw these fucking idiots out, and for anybody new who's listening, the reality of the situation is that, people en masse have been told they live in a globe. Institutions, these space institutions are faking, what they're doing, kidding people on that they're going to outer space or into the vacuum of space. And real people who understand science, who understand the world that they're living in, and are asking real questions, they are trying to suppress it. They are playing amongst us. And they are twisting everything to focus on people's personalities. So it is a real issue. It is a real life thing that is actually happening. These people are corrupt to the core. They only care about keeping their own interests, keeping their investment coming in, and the benefit to them is to keep people in ignorance so that people can be used, so that these fuckers can live a life of Riley while other people suffer. So, last night, I done what I done. People might think I went too far, but, it drew them again. And as we're going to listen to, we have more of them coming out of the woodwork because they're excited, because they think I'm going to take a back seat. And they love that. They would love me to take a back seat. So last night, I've got up this morning in Validation Boy. This is another one of these players amongst these groups of people who illogically randomly starts attacking people. This guy had made videos about me, about my tattoos, slanderous nonsense, everything to try and detract from the fact that there is no curvature, that the earth is not a globe. The biggest threat that comes from me is because I will not represent any map model. They know that I'm pushing for full exploration and that I would never accept any of the shit models that they push to me. So these characters are working together. Laurie Gale, Timmy Osmond, Jem Panda, Jed, Validation Boy, and everybody that these characters hang about with, and anybody who's, sticking up for them, right? Because at the end of the day, this is a serious thing. I am pissed off to fuck, right? That countless generations before me have lived a lie. My grandparents who fought through wars about a lot of fucking nonsense and had to put up with serious crap, especially being prisoners of war here in the UK from Germany and Austria, and the ridicule, the bullying that they had to put up with through their lives. I mean, there's endless amounts of suffering that has came from this nonsense, right? So I have got every reason to be fucking pissed off. And if people are not pissed off at the core, they really don't get it. No, these sophist clowns like Timmy Osmond who think they're fucking intellectual, they're nothing, right? I'm going to listen to Validation Boy, Timmy Osmond and Laurie, and we'll go through some of the tactics. I've not even listened to it yet, but I know they will display some of the tactics and the methods that they try and use, So, as I said to people before, if you're new to this, this is very real, right? This is not a cult. This is not a religious sect. This has got nothing to do with any of that stuff. This is purely about science, right? Something that these clowns know absolutely nothing about, right? They want to twist science into fantasy and nonsense, okay? So, as I say, very clear. I knew they would jump out the woodwork, try to be popular. And this Validation Boy chap, he's just a fucking bumbling mess. This is a guy who, tried to be me, and he still tries to be me, even with his the lighting that he uses. He's an absolute muppet. Now, look at narcissistic, psychopathic behaviours and traits. This is what they do. They mimic, right? They mimic to try and stay popular and relevant, because if they can stay popular and relevant, they know that they can cause some division between people. They may portray themselves to be decent at first, but you'll see them start to creep it in. The Laurie Gale character, she appeared last March. She offered nothing. She came in as nicey, and slowly but surely started to cause divisions everywhere she went, right? Attacking people, not letting people just go on with it. She thinks, these people think they're internet saviours or world saviours, where they're on their high horse and they know everything that's true and they can dictate to everybody. Yeah, they're fucking idiots, right? None of this should ever have descended into anybody's personality, right? Emotion should have been removed from it. People should have stuck to the facts. And the same goes for these so-called flat earthers who are taking the hump because I mentioned their name. Grow the fuck up, right? Get to the root of the fucking issue and start promoting the real truth, right? And I'm hearing this again. Oh, the no stancery, and you need to have a map and a model to work on. I've said it so many times. If people want maps and models to work on, they still need to push for full exploration, or you're never going to falsify or verify it. People need to be careful, because if these these clowns get their way, people are going to be fucking offered a new lie, right? And that's what the problem is with me. Because they can't touch it, there's no straw man for them to attack. It pisses them off, you know. And again, the excitement from them thinking I'm going to take a back seat and I've went off my head and, you know, get angry deliberately so that they would come out the woodwork, and they have done so. They are so fucking predictable, right? They would love to replace me. Validation Boy would love to be popular and step in there, but unfortunately for him and the other players, my focus will be on activism, but the other half of my focus is going to be pointing at these manipulative players every chance I get. Right, so the Timmy Osmonds and the Gem Pandas can sit there trying to act intellectual and suave, you know, but they've not got a fucking clue. That's why they have to come in and snipe the hangout. And anybody listening, this character, Timmy Osmond, and anybody who associates with him, you know, they're criminals. They come into your hangout and they throw everybody out. They have a method for taking over your hangout and they shut it down, right? So they are lick spittle. I will read you a definition of lick spittle so that people know what it means. Hang on, so I get it right. Lick spittle, a person who behaves obsequiously to those in power. Right, so let's have a look at that word. Obedient or attentive to an excessive or servile degree, right? And that is exactly what these people are. Now, you have to remember, people, they're going to put plants in on both sides of the fence. Remember, it's a false debate. There is no debate. The natural objective world is what it is. It can only be discussed, and if they were intellectual and clever and understood science, they would promote that, and they would never engage in this tittle-tattle, you know, making out that it's two sides. So you know right away that they're players, and if you want to learn about who the players are, you need to understand this stuff. So we have these characters who are obviously servile to fucking governments and authority, right? They're no real people. You know, there's a reason why Timmy Osmond Boy doesn't show his face, because he's a little spineless shitebag, right? He has nothing. He's a snivelling little wreck of a man who is, you know, would shit on his fellow man to help these fucking dick swallowers, right? And this, I came in to save Laurie from abuse. Who the fuck is he? That just shows you they had an issue last night because they were worried about what names I was going to mention. They're worried because people listen here now and they don't want me mentioning names. That's why characters appeared after it, to try and take me away from mentioning names. That's why I deleted it all. They think they're fucking clever. They're not clever, right? So say half of my attention is going to be focused on activism, half of my attention is going to be focused on the manipulative games and the players that are amongst us. People might not like it, but I'm going to focus on every one of them, right? So hang on a wee minute to see what's happening here. Just bear with me if anybody's there. Hang on. And again, anybody that's listening, I ain't interested in being popular. Do not give a fuck. Right? The truth is the truth, and I will fight tooth and nail for the truth. Always will. So I'll just do this, and then we'll get a wee listen to these fucking clowns. You know, I'll see how much yet I can take, because they are fucking the lowest of the low. These characters make you fucking sick. So, where are we? So hello, anybody who's in the chat listening live. As I say, you know, I wanted to make this, and I'm going to leave this one up. You know, these people think they're clever, right? They just don't get it that they'll never be clever enough. You set out the fucking net and they come every single time, right? As I say, I've got up this morning, you can see it in them. Oh, let's get together and bash Dale. You know, this is the mentality of them. People bashing. Now, you've met these people in your circles. People, you know it, right? These people who just cause trouble, talk about everybody behind their back, bitch, focus on the personalities. This is not right, that's not right. It's like they go off on it. They're wired differently, right? Now, if you don't stand up to it and recognise it, you know, and put it to bed in your society, your small circles, right up to the government levels, then this stuff's just going to perpetuate until you get over it, you know? It's like Lord of the Flies. When are the adults going to actually stand up and slap the kids out the road and take control of this situation, right? Because these morons will keep people going round and round in circles. The whole truth movement, these characters have been prominent, the same methods for the last 15 years, right? And nothing goes anywhere. So people really want the truth, they're going to need to start digging in and out these fuckers. Shouldn't it just be me that's pointing at them? So the Validation Boy chap even messaged after it, oh, I'm sorry, I retracted everything, blah, blah, blah. And now here we are. His opportunity when he thinks Dell's going to go away. Dell's get angry. Yes, we can bitch about him and put him down. Dell's not going anywhere, Validation Boy, you silly little prick. Alright? Dell's not going anywhere. Dell will play you fools till the game is over. You will never be smart enough. Never. Alright? The only thing you have is mimicking. You have no creativity. You have no real emotion. right? And I can see every one of these as clear as day. And the rest of the so-called flat earthers, they'll be getting chapped as well. So let's go to this.
Was saying to her, I think that's kind of relevant as well.
Yeah, I saw both of your videos on that. Or no, I saw one of your videos and I saw one from another channel. I assumed it was your channel.
Yeah,
When I was on it, he was talking in double speed.
yeah. That would be kind of relevant just because he kind of goes after her, and that's kind of what I was thinking that you were going to play, actually.
Actually.
Did whoever recorded that, did they get the full conversation, do you know?
I have the full conversation.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I got the other half, yeah.
So these characters,
I think it's a testament not only to
these characters go and get themselves involved in everybody's business on everybody's channel. You need to ask yourself why, right? Now, there is no progress that comes from any of them. It's only division. Everywhere they go, there is division. So remember, many of these people have been trained in the trivium, rhetoric, grammar, logic. So they understand it and they know how to twist it. Morons like Validation Boy and Laurie Gale have not got a fucking clue about any of that. But Timmy Boy is a wee bit more savvy that way. He's still a fucking numpty and no very clever, no very bright, right? Because he's been fed a script, gave gold stars and patted in the back, you know, by his masters, right? Timmy needs a master. Timmy needs a script. Timmy is not capable of free thinking. Timmy is not capable of standing on his own 2 feet. Timmy is not capable of having face-to-face discussion with real people who understand logic, who can pull him up in these nonsense. Same as Jen Panda and all these characters, they are cut from the same cloth, you know, and read from the exact same script, right?
Just him. I think it's a testament to the people in the chat that seem to not really have any kind of morals when it comes to somebody that has their same confirmation bias, and they perceive that person to be fighting for them the good fight. So basically, they're justified in any action that they do as righteous because they're fighting for their meme. So that's why I also recorded the chat, because the chat is there's obvious people against what I was doing and obvious people for what I was doing, and
nobody's for anything you're doing. The only people that are for what you're doing, Timmy, my old son, is your fucking masters and the gimps, the other lick spittle who you operate with, right? You are no saviour. This character sits and acts like he's some intellectual high saviour, right? He's a fucking gimp. And if Timmy did show his face, Timmy knows the ramifications of what would be coming his way, right? People like Timmy hide.
I just think it had to be done. As he came back, I didn't really watch it, but I think he came back in a little better mood.
Yeah, I came back in a little better mood because the first part was an act. You fucking stupid moron, right? Because I knew how to fish you, right? To come in and snipe, to give us a display again of the insecurity of the powers that be and the threat that this message really has to them, right? Again, you're no very clever, son.
Maybe not. I don't know. There's not to let you know. But, yeah.
And this bad moodedness, negativity, anger, you forget this is online. I have a real life, real people who know me, family that experience me every single day, right? So they know who I am. They know when I'm fishing. My missus knew I was fishing. These clowns, because they think they're smart and think that they know what's going on, they act upon it, right? Not the brightest. The very fact that we have the 3 of them here, it should show people, and in this Validation Boy, the other circles that he now moves in, you should be watching, because the people that he's moving about with are manipulators, right? They don't represent the real truth. They do not want people to be empowered, to be critical, to understand logic, rhetoric and grammar. They're not interested in that. They just want to keep spinning you in circles and distracting you. Well, their plan unfolds.
I was just surprised to hear all that. I didn't know that that's the kind of stuff that was still going on right now. I thought we were all good.
It wasn't. The thing was...
Well, it was the kind of stuff that's going on, because if you go and look at the videos, you can see them. Now, it's divisive in its nature, right? As I say, I do not go to Validation Boys and lorries and fucking sit here dictating how they should and shouldn't be. I've never mentioned names, but these clowns continue it, right? So Validation Boy can sit there and act innocent all he likes, Hang on. Sorry, 2 seconds. So they act innocent. You know, this is the game they will now play. This is what I predicted, you know, because this is what they want.
I got up this morning and I saw that he had put up a video that he was having another hangout today, and the title about dividers. When I listened to it, he said something about he could see these little we groups reforming again, and a little bell went off in my head, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go. But I can't imagine what, because I haven't even been speaking with.
See, the problem with these people is you know, and they can't refute this. The objective reality that we share can only be discussed. It's not a debate, right? So these clowns try and branch it off into small groups and separate everybody, you know, and have this bickering going on about illogical nonsense, and then want to sit and act, oh, I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on. I'm so innocent. Remember, people, these manipulators, and you've met them, the liars, the sociopaths, the psychopaths will always try and act like victims, right? You know, and they'll twist. This is how naive people are. Just because they see me with passion and anger and all that kind of stuff, very easy for them to make a snap judgment while these people sit and act innocent and poor me. You need to learn the tactics of these people. I will tell you straight to your face. I will always tell you the truth, right? Doesn't matter how it comes. These fuckers will never. They're not capable, and they're not capable of proper one-to-one discussion either, right? Has been witnessed over and over. You know, Timmy Boy's been drawn in and displayed his behaviour a number of times now, right? So why is he still involved in this? You need to ask yourself that, right? So I say the whole point of this is to show you who these manipulators are. I will go and say that these are like Spittle, these are government organised groups, right? That these very people are part of, right? And it shows in their content. As I've always said, look at their content, look at what they have to offer.
With Jed, I haven't been on Jed's show. I haven't talked about Dell. I haven't made any flat earth videos, so it couldn't have anything to do with me, right?
So doesn't make any flat earth videos, doesn't offer anything to the discussion whatsoever. Continues to support illogical ramblings, continues to support division. You know, I mean, why is this woman even involved in it? Why is she even trying to make herself relevant? Because she was a character who was wheeled out last March. Oh, it's fun Auntie Laurie, somebody that you can relate to. And they wheeled out all characters for everybody, you know? The fun uncle, the fun auntie, the cool young guy, the middle-aged guy, you know, they're all there. And we'll get to that eventually, you know, because I'm going to start, as I say, putting my focus back on to these people, the manipulative games that they play, the tactics they use, you know, the whole aspect there.
But then I get a notification that he replied to a comment that I left on Jed's channel where I said that his video of Scotland was very nice and that I enjoyed it. And Jed replied back, thanks, cheers, keep up your outdoor videos. That's really nice. And then some other people writing that they agree that his Dell's channel was negative. He's always saying he lives in a shithole. And Jed was saying he lives in a very beautiful place. And I was saying I agreed with that. Well, all of a sudden, Dell's writing.
You see, this is where they deliberately misrepresent, right? And don't go into the full details, right? And as I've said before, you know, there's aspects of this place that you can look at and I will say, oh, that's beautiful, that's nice, you know, subjectively pleasing to me, blah, blah, blah. But the overall picture, nature, surviving, to die, you know, the whole game is not very pretty. For me, it's an abomination. So if people think that's negative, it's just because they're so fucking weak-minded, right? That it threatens them. Oh, you can't say that because I don't like that. That makes me feel insecure. Well, fuck you, you know? That's the problem with these clowns. And I'm the very first one to say everybody's entitled to have their subjective experience, blah, blah, blah. But these fucking numpties, if it's something they don't agree with, then, they have to get out there and start slandering people, right? Very weak-minded, right? Now, it adds weight to everything I've always said. You know, is this where we're meant to be? Is there a way out of here? Because these fuckers are threatened by that. These fuckers are threatened by full exploration, right? You need to ask why. Why is it such a threat? Why is having no stance and representing the real truth of the situation a problem for them?
He's trolling me and Jed's video comments, telling me, you old goat, you better tune in later this afternoon. And then I kind of knew this was coming.
I think that there was misdirected hostility when it came to you. I think that he suffers from the us versus them mentality that the elite do push on us.
No, it's not me that suffers from the us them mentality. You and your groups are the ones who push us them. You divide it by continuing to call it a debate, by continuing to distract people from the actual truth of the situation, by continuing to twist the logic, by continuing to push sophism arguments to people, right? You're not getting away with hiding here, Timmy boy. No chance, right? My focus is on you and your cronies, and it's not going away until you fucking fall, son, right? Every fucking one of you, right? And real people want to see that happen, and real people will support it, because I know real people are fucking sick of it, right? Sooner you clowns are outed, the better, and then we can all have progress and peace of mind, where adults and people who are interested in real science can have discussions.
And for him to, basically shun out everybody, even flat earthers and people that don't believe in flat earth, just really shows what kind of person he is.
See, here we go again with the misrepresentation. Shun out everybody. I'm the first one who created the platform and opened it up to everybody, right? The people beyond the imaginary curve. I don't shun anybody. Anybody is free to come in and have a discussion, as has been proven. What happens when these characters come in? Snipe, shut down, insecure, controlling mode. But this is how deluded they are, right? This is how they hope to affect people with their fucking crap.
And I think what this kind of hinges on, the crux of it perhaps is the whole Jaren video, where I talk and then Jed had a video as well. And, he sees probably, I think I have like 500 views on that. I think Jed has around the same or more. And he even called out Globebusters. I caught some of that in that conversation. Like, when are you going to come out and tell the real truth? And as far, when it comes to me, I really think that they're spitting a bunch of bullshit personally. But I will say that they are the people that bring up the most, thought-provocative, arguments. And
so here now we have Timmy Osmond, right? Now trying to support another bunch and group of flat earth people, right? So now we're really starting to see what's going on here, right? Why the fuck is Timmy Osmond supporting this group of people? Remember what I says to you? They're prominent in both sides. Remember what I says from the beginning? There is a plan to deceive people into another paradigm here. Clowns like Timmy Osmond give this false impression of resistance, right? Timmy probably doesn't even know that he's a fake resistance because he's too fucking stupid, right? And he just thinks he's in with the in crowd, when really the in crowd, the real powers, will ditch clowns like Timmy. Timmy probably knows it in the back of his mind, and that's why he doesn't show his face, right? But the other ones are too fucking stupid to realise it. They will be left in the shit. Their faces are on camera, right? So for 2 years, right, these so-called flat earth groups have done nothing but enter into debates with people, stringing it out into nonsensical arguments. Let's try and prove the sky, arguing about the sky, all these things. Whereas me, I've been here sitting whittling it down to the real truth of what's really important and the real truth of the situation. But they don't push that, because that would get things done far too quickly. You need to control both sides, right? If you have another agenda, you need to control both sides, and you need to make sure you keep control of it.
And different, little facets like gyros and this and that and this and that. So for him to be so mad that people are also pushing, trying to...
Very articulate, I'll stick up for this group, and they do great stuff, this and that, this and that, this and that. Well, that's not very much details there, Timmy. You're exposing your groups here very easily, my man. As I said before, you're not the sharpest tool in the box. So you want to get off your self-delusion, right? You have been had by me yet again, son. You're just no bright at all, right? And you will fall at my feet every fucking time until you get it. And I will make sure you fucking go with your tail between your legs.
Trying to figure out a map. It's like, dude, it gives you legitimacy when you do have a map.
No, it doesn't. This is what I'm saying here. We go with the manipulation. It gives you legitimacy when you do have a map, right? It's a straw man. How the fuck is a group of people sitting at their computer going to falsify or verify anything that they're doing by sitting at the fucking computer, dealing with data that's been fed to them their whole life? As I say, we're really seeing the game here, and this fucking muppet is showing it.
Because it matches, if you can get it to match with empirical data. So,
what empirical data? What empirical data? Empirical data, numbers on a piece of paper. Reality, observable, common sense reality tells us that it's not what they tell us it is. Simple as that. You don't need 2 years of fucking nonsense and idle chit-chat to prove that. You need 2 years of idle chit-chat and nonsense and distraction and division if you want to sell people a lie.
He denies that just basically up up front. So that's the point. I mean, it's just, I think that, I seized the opportunity with the Jaren thing. I made a video right afterwards. I didn't know that it would cause this kind of stink towards her, but I knew that he would be upset about it. And I knew that Jed would make a video. And so really what happened was he shot himself in the foot. And basically, I would have to assume that many people that have half a brain and have some morals probably wouldn't go and listen to that rhetoric anymore.
Thank you. See, there we go. They don't want people coming and listening to the rhetoric anymore. They don't want people coming and listening to the truth. It's a real issue for them. Right? They've already tried it. Somebody's been trawling through all my old vlogs looking for something they can copyright me with. Right? Because they're fucking running. Please don't listen to Dale anymore. Please, 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 please. Well, I'm sorry, Timmy boy. It's not me that they're listening to. People are coming to the truth, right? What I've always represented is the truth. So it's not me they're coming to listen to. They're coming because they see the game. It's just you and your fucking cronies, right, who know the game, but you deliberately try and divide and deceive people. You have no measurable curvature, zero proof for a globe. You have an image. You are a religious, fundamentalist, crackpot disciple of the globe religion, right? And you're doing anything to try and push it because you like Spittle, because the masters are pushing you to it. But again, fake resistance, you're going to be left in the shite, sonny boy. You're just a tool, a worthless little piece of shit tool. And so are these clowns that you're sitting with.
Well, I don't understand how
I don't understand.
You pulled me into this just because
I don't understand why you pulled me into this. I'm just a confused old lady who's on the internet babbling a lot of fucking shit. I pulled you into it because you're a divisive old boot, right? You go about bad-mouthing people, getting yourself involved with everybody's business and offering nothing. Divisive. That's probably why you live out in the middle of fucking nowhere and away from all your family, because people know you're a poisonous old cow.
Comment on Jed's video about that I said that it was a beautiful place that he was
This
in.
old deluded boot thinks that I don't like, she's so, up her own arse, delusional. She thinks I'm upset because she likes Jed. I could not give a fuck who you like, woman, right? Jed is a numpty, the same as you, right? It's your divisive, misrepresenting, lying that I have a problem with. That's why you're being called out. So you can sit there acting all Miss Innocent all you like, right? It's not going to fucking wash anymore, missus.
It's like every time he sees me say something to Jed or Jed say something back at me, he goes on the defensive. And I'm a small channel. I haven't said anything about him. I don't understand.
Oh, please, Laurie, please like me. You like Jed, so please like me too. And if you don't, I'm going to get up shit about it. And, I don't comment. I happened to see that video. I couldn't give a fuck what Jed is doing. But again, I'm directed to him name dropping, right? Jed wants to keep dropping my name. Jed can come and have a chat with me. He's been invited for the last year to come and have a chat with me, but Jed is another spineless fucking moron who can't hold himself in a real discussion with real people who will crush his illogical crap.
On the knee that all that hateful spiel came from.
It's not hateful. It's not hateful. It's observation and a bit of acting to fucking draw you out and to draw your cronies. And you are that stupid that you didn't even wait. You jumped on right away and got together and exposed yourself. And now you're going to expose all the groups that you're working with.
To do with your Jaren video. I'm lost.
I just, like I said, I think
I'm lost. I'm lost. This Scottish guy is just crazy and says stuff for nothing. I'm lost. I'm poor and innocent me. People look through this fucking shite acting. Honestly, man. If this was a liar in your company, you would just be laughing at it. The ridiculousness of trying to wriggle out of their nonsense.
That mentality. And you see it with people like the Wake Souls, where he says, if you don't believe in Yeshua Shai, you're a Satanist. I mean, it literally is black and white to people. And there's no middle ground. You're either with us or you're against us. And this is pushed by the people that we're supposedly against, guys. It really is.
There is no middle ground when it comes to the objective reality we all share. It is the truth and it is what it is, regardless of what anybody thinks, believes, wishes. So here again, he's exposing himself. There is no middle ground. There is no opposing sides. There only is one reality here, right?
So, he doesn't really provide much proof at all. He just goes with his arguments and a lot of hate and vitriol. So for him to be, second basically in live viewers on this YouTube realm, the flat earth realm, it really, like I said, it's a testament to the viewers.
Now there we go. There we get to the crux here. This is what's sticking in their craw, because the channel has got popularity and people are listening and paying attention. They'd never foreseen that. They thought they had it sewn up with their popular groups and they had everybody under the one umbrella. And you have this rogue who's not accepting it and they don't fucking like it.
The people that are involved.
Tim, yeah, that's a good point. You know, that's one of the reasons why I decided that I'd like to start having panels, and I like to start.
Uncle Fester's now piping in, trying to take credit for everything I established, everything I put out there, and he's sitting here with the same light and everything. This little fucking gimp, right? Probably sociopathic, psychopathic in nature as well. No real emotion, can only mimic, and now he wants to start acting all fucking intellectual. What a fucking twat.
Inviting in a few people that are not flat earthers, you know. Boy Gale's not an outright flat earther. P. Mars and Twitwit were on my show last night, and I wanted their perspective on things. I also invited you. Unfortunately, you couldn't make it. Yeah, that's one of the things that there's.
I'm not anti-flat Earth. You know, I lean towards that, but people are people.
I lean towards it. She's acting as if it's a fucking choice, right? Listen, objective reality is not a fucking choice. You can think whatever you want about it, right? But it is what it is regardless. So you should step the fuck to the side and let people who want to progress go on with it.
Drawn to different people, and I like to hear all aspects. So I'm supposed to hear into a box, and I said from the beginning that no one's going to tell me where I'm allowed to go and where I'm allowed to be or speak.
So who's telling this woman who she can and can't speak to? This is what I'm saying. Total fabrication nonsense. They are delusional, these people. Seriously delusional. But it's a deliberate delusion and an attempt at emotional manipulation with people to try and get people to feel sorry for them so that whatever they say has a sway with people, you know, and this is their game. Go and look through my whole history and see who I mentioned. Nobody. Absolutely nobody.
And people have been trying to box me in since the beginning. Don't go here. Don't go there. Don't talk to this one. Don't go talk to that
See
one.
what I mean about the delusional? People are trying to box me in. People as if she's an irrelevant nobody who appeared from nowhere last March. Right? And all the wee circles were promoting each other to get viewers, to keep attention.
Example of like cult mentality.
Yes.
In flat Earth.
Beautiful. And that's exactly what I was about to bring up.
Beautiful. Oh, your illogical ramblings are beautiful. Beautiful. Like, this is plainly obvious here that these clowns are up to.
If you're in any kind of situation when you're in some religion or whatever where they basically shun out everybody else but themselves, that is basically a definition of a cult.
So we're shunning everybody out apart from themselves and it's a cult. Yeah, I'm the one who established an open platform, who took it to the next level, gave people a voice, invited anybody in, including globe believers. The only globe believers who came forward were fundamental, radical fucking fruitcakes like Timmy Osmond and Gem Panda and other sock accounts. How did they represent themselves? With sophism, with sniping the hangout, insecure controlling. They are the cult members. We are the people sitting saying we don't know what the earth is. That's not a cult. That's the truth. If I've got a zero tolerance policy for their illogical ramblings, it's not my problem. They want to up their game a wee bit then. But they're not capable because they're defending a lie. And it will always be found out. So they have to resort to these tactics because it is a lie they're trying to perpetuate.
And there's usually about, I think, 10 signs of a cult. And, it was funny because John LeBon did a video saying that it was about, Flat Earth was about 7 out of 10. Patricia Steer was like, she's actually in the chat right now. There's probably 2 or 3 that I could see. And then Bob from Globebusters totally flipped it around, said 0 from the Flat Earth and all from the Glober. So this is what they do. They like to, they're spin doctors. And they have to be because it is a fallacious meme. And I understand that you believe in it, Validation Boy, but I respect that you say, I am a flat earth dogmatist. I believe in this. I mean, you basically...
So I'm just looking at the chat here, Eric Dubai. I'm not here, this is off from Red Eric Dubai. I'm not here to mindfuck people into believing whatever I believe. I just want to encourage people to start thinking for themselves, questioning thinking. That's what my whole game has always been. That my missus was saying last night, Orphan Red, that you were taking a tantrum about anything that I was saying, you know? So, whatever, just these people just fuck off and go and do your own thing if you've got a fucking issue with what I do, right? I don't come fucking bothering you, right? Eric, for me, people can say what they like about Eric Dubai, but Eric Dubai, for me, represented the truth. Eric Dubai promoted activism and encouraged it within people, right? Where did that come from for anybody else? And the so-called top dogs, nowhere. Seems to me that they're just content with keeping people in circles on fucking online, going round in circles with nonsense. Anyway.
Basically, to me, get way more respect than anybody that, just thinks that the earth is flat just because they watch Dubé videos. Like you're just
see this again,
it and
misrepresenting people and making out that people are thick. This is what I'm saying about this Timmy character. Belittling people, thinking that they're so gullible that they just believe anything that Eric Dubai would say. No, people had critical thought that recognised the way Eric put things across, went and done their own research, came to their own conclusions. Right? It's just because this is Timmy's projection of who he is that he just follows suit and believes what he's told. When what I'm witnessing is a varied amount of people coming from all walks of life, questioning things in their own way.
It's up front. It's like, okay, well, I don't need to really talk to you about the shape of the earth as much, But people that are, that aren't admitted dogmatists, I maybe can get through to. But, when I did research on you, I saw all of your old conspiracy theorist posts all throughout the fucking forums and shit, dude. And
you read through that shit?
Yeah. And that's why I never really harmed you. I mean, it's like, I don't care about a fellow conspiracy theorist.
Oh, you nearly slipped up there, Timmy boy. You don't care about another fellow flat earther, blah, blah, blah. Now, you don't care as long as it's one of your crew. And Validation Boy's obviously one of your crew. You care and it bothers you about rogues who are no under the umbrella of control. And you just fucking slipped up there, my old son. Again.
This is what I really want to put to Jaron, is that, we can't have the flat earth just completely shunning all of conspiracy theorists.
Listen to this guy. We can't have the flat earth shunning all other conspiracy theories. Who the fuck is Timmy Osmond to dictate what happens and what should happen? This question stands alone as something that every one of us can experience. All these other conspiracies are, out with our touch and control. 9/11, the vaccines, unless you're directly involved in it and have experience in it. But this subject, every single person can see it for themselves. Right? Now, when you're taking it to the rest of the world, for me, it has to be strict to the individual message, which this question is what shapes the earth. No, or anything else, there's dinosaurs or these trees, rocks, whatever the fuck. Right? All that stuff has already been here. It's where this place is we're actually trying to establish. And if we establish it and we are stuck here, then we can sift through the other parts and maybe regain a connection to true history. Right? But this clown wants all these other straw men attached to it so they have something to attack, so they have something to associate it with. Because if they can discredit it in any way, they will.
That don't believe in the flat earth, they can come from a little bit nicer at least. But the thing is they are your brethren against the same enemy, supposedly, quote unquote. But that's why it's like, guys, I don't fall for the flat earth, but there's things like 9/11 and Sandy Hook and stuff like that where I was one of those people that literally had my feet on the pavement. Like I was doing shit, dude. And I have a certain skill set that a lot of people don't have, and I helped out with certain things. And I even kind of got in some trouble for it. So, I've been there, and I fight the good fight.
You don't fight any good fight. You're like Spittle, Timmy. The only fight you fight is the script that you're handed. Whatever aspect, whatever focus your attention has to be on, it's handed to you and it's dictated to you. Right? You're nobody. You're nothing. I've been involved in the so-called truth thing for 15 years. You are nothing. You never appeared anywhere or helped with anything. The only help you would ever give was to perpetuate nonsense and confusion.
That's why I've been here for 2 years, banging my head on the table, trying to say, there's not enough evidence to say this is proof, guys. There's just not enough evidence. We need to keep testing. We need to be open-minded, unbiased, not dogmatic, and we need to look at things through a new light.
No, you're heading in a direction that we can definitely go in, but maybe getting there a little bit prematurely. I'd like to, for the sake of the viewing audience, I'd like to hear Lori's side of the whole saga with Dell. I mean, going way back, because Lori, I know that there was a time when I was making hit pieces on Dell, and it was in retaliation because he had been, talking trash about what was once the faction of myself, Jed, you.
No, this is again Validation Boy telling absolute lies yet again, you little fucking gimp. Validation Boy came to one of the early hangouts and came in. He was polite, he got manners, he got respect. We had a chat, we had a conversation, and then he left. And then straight away he was in the chat taking a tantrum and then pointing out about tattoos and stuff. So I said to him, you know, you were just in, why did you not ask about it, blah, blah, blah. I'm more than willing to, you know, discuss anything you like. Next thing, very next morning, he's painted himself with symbols, the symbols that I've got tattooed on his face, trying to do a Scottish accent and made an absolute cunt of himself, right? Made a total clown of himself. So here, this little shit is barefaced fucking lying. And when he goes on to Laurie Gale, again, the timeline's there, the vlogs are there. This woman asked me a question, she got a response. She didn't get me drawn in to her games, so then shifted her attention to Jed and started bitching and badmouthing, and that's where it all stemmed from. So don't let these fucking idiots, you know, sway anybody. I don't think anybody's that fucking stupid to believe them. Validation Boy has just ended himself right here and now. What a clown. All because they think I wasn't going to come back. Do you know what I mean? They're daft.
Than Ohio and the sort. But I know that the history goes way back, and I'd like the audience to get like your interpretation of the entire situation going all the way back to the beginning, if you could, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, the way I remember it, everybody has their own take on things, but I wish you'd leave your camera on so I feel like I'm looking at somebody.
So she's setting it up. The manipulation's already in place. The way I remember it. You don't need to remember it. The history's there. My vlogs are there. None of them's been removed. So whatever she's going to remember the way she's seen it is going to be bullshit.
The way I remember it,
I'm participating in illicit activities. I'll be in and out. I'll be right back up.
Of all of you,
I'm sitting here. I'm listening to you. I just got it on mute.
I need to look at something. The way I remember it, when I got involved with Dell, was I was watching him, and that was about the same time Jed was putting things out, and they started to have little go back and forth videos back and forth between them where they were kind of arguing.
Wrong. Laura Gale asked me a question before Jed was even involved in the scene. So right away, she's fucking telling lies. And again, people, I don't need to fucking lie. The vlogs are there. Go and check them.
And I would not comment on either channel because I liked both of them. I liked Dell and I liked Jed, and I commented when they were not talking about each other. I didn't go on either one of them.
This is just barefaced lies. She made a video asking me a question. This woman is so fucking far up her own arse. She's told that many lies and been involved in that much manipulation. She forgets. I don't forget, because I've not been involved in any of their drama and any of their crap. The only drama I've been involved in is what they have brought to me. So I can remember it clear as day.
So one day I went out and made a video and I made a little joke about two hot Scottish guys that they should just...
But you're forgetting, she's forgetting about the two videos she made before that. She's forgetting very quickly, you know. Selective, manipulative old goat.
Fight and kill some Jello to settle it. Remember that? And Dell even made a response video where he put little Jello cups up fighting, and that was cute and everything was fine. Then, next thing I know, I'm on Jed's show for something, and he happened to bring Dell up, and he said something about Dell, and I kept saying, I remember saying, I like Dell, like 6 times during the video. I said, I like Dell, I like Dell. Well, what I did say in that video was that I didn't like that Dell had said Jed set up his kid coming in at the end of the video, but that wasn't right. I agree with
He did. This is what I'm saying about them mimicking. Naturally, my kids are coming in and out. This fucking little sniffer, you know, it's about 2 o'clock in the morning, right? And as soon as he mentions it, it's almost like a trigger. The door opens. That's how fucking low they are. They'll use their own children to gain a bit of attention.
I said, yeah, that was rotten to saying that. You could tell you didn't have your child walk in on purpose at the end.
Go and watch it. He fucking did. And I'm not going to take that back, because these fuckers are manipulative, lying little shits. So they're lower than a snake's belly. There's no depths that they'll no go to, you know, to push nonsense. Probably being profiled as prolific fucking liars.
Only thing that I said. And the next day was an hour-long video by Dell about snakes and vipers in our midst, where he went on for 58 minutes, like he did today. And he went on and on and on. And I said 6 times. So
when people misrepresent you and tell lies, you're not supposed to address it. You're not supposed to speak out about it. They would just prefer that you never said anything, because they're so innocent and not guilty in any of it. This is when you know there's a problem going on, when people are just trying to portray themselves as the innocent all the time. Right? None of yous are fucking innocent. None of yous are perfect. But these fucking muppets think that they're too stupid to realise how obvious their game is.
During the hangout, I liked that, but he pulled the pieces out of that hangout where we were laughing, and he says, "Oh, they're just laughing." He was furious because I was on a hangout with Jed. That's the way I took it. He was just furious. I never had any contact with him. So I don't comment anywhere, and then I haven't been even with Jed. I haven't commented much with him. And matter of fact, that was.
But she's not commented much with Jed. But as soon as Jed mentions my name, she's in the comments, backing it up, talking shit.
First comment was the one he made on the Scottish video just now, where I said it was a beautiful video, where he actually responded back to me. And he said, "You keep up your videos too. They're very good. Your outdoor videos are nice." And Del saw that. And that's when he started just today saying, "You tune in today because it's coming, and you won't go. I'm going to," and it's all there on Jed's page.
You're right, it's coming, and I ain't going to let up. I'm going to focus on every one of you fuckers continually.
I'm like, where is this coming from? All because I said I liked his video.
No, this is just her insisting, all because I liked his video. This is the delusional part where she thinks she's something and that I want Laurie's attention and it hurts my feelings that she speaks to Jed. What a delusional fucking moron this woman is.
And I don't like what Del says about we living in a shithole. I'd rather see the beauty in the world around us. And then this thing came out.
And again, misrepresenting. Del says it's a shithole. I would rather see the beauty in the video. Del stated quite clearly there is beauty to behold. And again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's a subjective thing, right? We're interested in the objective truth. You, missus, don't have a fucking clue about anything objective, right? You're an emotional, manipulative liar. That's the skills that you have. That is your skill set. Nothing else. Nothing.
Today. So I'm sitting here like smack. No idea where this hate is coming from. I didn't put out any anti.
It's no hate. I've not got any emotion towards any of you. It's a fucking game. And I'm outing you and drawing you and showing you for what you are. Same as your cronies that you're sitting there with, right? But you're not clever enough to know that.
Del videos or anti-Del comments or, I mean, come on.
So, I mean...
Oh, I'm not into anti-Del comments, but yet they're having a whole hangout dedicated to it. The contradictions are rife with these clowns, man.
The video that Jed made, that you liked or whatever, I don't know if I saw it, but
it's just about the Scottish Highlands where he did like a walk and talk like I do, where you show the outdoors.
Did he say anything about Del in the video?
He mentioned, yeah, he said, I believe I live on a beautiful place, not a shithole. Del says that this is a shit.
So why is Jed name dropping? Why is Jed get a bee in his bonnet about Del? Why is Del even in Jed's consciousness? There lies the fucking question, eh?
Shithole. I don't see this as a shithole.
That's because you're a lying, emotionless, manipulative old goat, right, who has no depth of understanding whatsoever, right? The overall view of this place, when I say shithole, it is, for me, it's not a wonderful creation. Might be beautiful, right? But it's content, what actually goes on. It's like getting into a beautiful palace and going, oh, it's a beautiful palace. Well, everything involved inside the beautiful palace is slaughtering each other, eating each other, struggling to survive, living in fear, and me having a look at that and going, you know what, it's a beautiful palace, but what is going on within it is no very nice whatsoever, and that's what this clown fails to recognise deliberately, right? Because that's part of the manipulation for me. They want you, valuing this place, investing in this place as if it's so meaningful and that this is where you're meant to be and you should behave like this and you should behave like that. What does this clown know about the objective truth? She doesn't know anything. So right away, you need to ask yourself, why is she pushing that, right? Sorry, Gav, you all right, mate? Sorry, I just noticed you were there.
Aye, no bother, my man. I'm enjoying it.
Well, as I say, mate, I've done this many times before where you put the trap out and these clowns bite every single time. And they think they're clever, and they've just not got a fucking clue. They've not got a fucking...
We've been baiting them since Christmas, so it's nice to see them all coming out under the rocks and sliming about in the grass, so great stuff.
Yeah,
what's needed, my man. Just clear the men from the boys and the wheat from the chaff, as they say, so.
Yeah, exactly. And it's time for that. I've said it to people from the beginning. I'm not going to let it go. The truth is what's important to me. So these clowns can, I can make it look as if, I'm losing it, and, I want to go away, and, and draw them in, but they're just not bright enough to understand that I'm a tactician, that I'm sitting thinking constantly about how I'm going to draw them out and expose them. They're just they're so deluded, they're so up their own arse and, full of self-importance that it is baffling. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. We've seen it for 3 years now, at least, and anybody with any discernment whatsoever has already recognised it. So yeah, let's clear out the shed. All the old blunt tools, just throw them away.
Exactly. And if people don't understand it, and they want to switch off, then that's no sweat off my back. I'm only interested in people who are strong in their mind and know the game and what's actually happening. So, and for me, that's what's important. People can look at it any way they like. I will never veer from representing the truth. That determination to know the truth will never leave me. Regardless of how I portray it. So
I'd rather have 100 solid people than 5,000 that just talk shite. So yeah.
Follow and give these clowns a place, make them some sort of relevance.
They're completely irrelevant now. Absolutely. I mean, anybody after this, nonsense that doesn't see that, needs to go away back, think about themselves, and come back later on. We'll still be here. So
that's it. No going anywhere.
No, definitely not. Oh, they don't know what's coming yet. There's a lot still to happen.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying about these clowns, these licks, Spittle, they will be left in the shit, and they're too fucking stupid to realise that. Whatever whispers are coming down the phone line to them, reassuring them, are false whispers.
Right.
So I'm just going to
go, man. Keep going. Aye, I'm listening fine.
He says, I don't see this as a shithole. And in the comment sections, when I was going back and forth with someone, I said, I agree that it's not a shithole. It's a beautiful place to live. And that's what, went off on.
I know she's trying to cover her tracks and get leaving bits out of the comments and stuff. This is so manipulative, it's fucking no real. Yeah.
It seems like maybe Dell's caught up in that back and forth. He's caught up in that tit for tat at the moment.
Something with Jed.
See, again, Dell's caught up in the tit for tat, back and forth. Where are they getting this from? It's like, where through the whole history in the vlogs has Dell get caught up in that tit for tat, back and forth? Absolutely nowhere.
That's Dell off. There's something he's saying in that little spiel there that me and Jed are working together. We're coordinating. We're working together. We're dividing. I haven't even spoken to Jed since December.
I mean, you guys are divided.
Right. So how are we working together?
Am I responsible for dividing you guys?
No, that was somebody else.
Okay.
That's not Tim.
No, because Timmy's their best pal now, an active criminal because he's nothing but division and these fucking Muppets are cozying up. Wow.
So,
Validation boy, your credibility, son, was already shot. Now you're in the gutter, right? And I'm going to point and fucking ridicule you every chance I get, right? You look like fucking Uncle Fester. Look at the fucking Nicky sitting there trying to mimic the light and everything. What a fucking moron. A pathetic little fucking waster.
I mean, maybe Jed's still instigating it. I mean,
I don't think so.
I laid off
I was to comment. Jed didn't think I was going to comment. I'm not allowed to comment on a video about the Scottish Highlands.
Well, no.
Again, I'm not allowed to. What a that's just boring the fucking tits right off me now. This fucking old goat.
I was just going to ask how long of this are you going to actually sit through?
I don't know. Where am I? I've got to, where are we? I'm 26 minutes. I'll give it another 10, 15, and see if there's anything else. But, the main point is to point out their tactics and the methods they're using, No,
man. Yeah, it's funny. It's good to have a laugh as well sometimes.
That's it.
About the fucking absurdity of these people. Yeah.
Yep.
And the real beef is still between Jed and Dell, apparently.
The real beef. See, these clowns made this out. There was a beef between me and Jed. No, Jed's just an illogical little twat that makes videos and talks shite and lies and misrepresents. There's never been a beef for me and Jed. Jed has been invited endless amounts of times to come in and have a discussion. Jed refuses because Jed's not got a spine. Jed is not capable of discussion, right? There is no tit for tat, me against Jed. The whole thing is about the objective truth, the reality we share, and Jed is a divider. Jed is an illogical fucking cretin, is what Jed is. End of story. Jed came to me trying to step in my toes, right? Making nonsense hit piece videos, right? So there is no tit for tat. There is just Jed, the player, trying to play manipulative games. And Dell, who's not interested in it, pointing at it time after time.
Those two guys are not going to let it die.
Nope.
And they're Scottish. There's so few Scots people in Flat Earth anyways, or in this community. Maybe there's a lot of pride going on there. I don't know. I can't speak for either one of those guys, and I don't want to put either one of them down either, because I laid off Dell. I laid back. I took the videos down that I had made, about him.
You took your videos down because you made an absolute fucking clown of yourself, son. You were embarrassed. Don't act as if you were doing me a favour. You're fucking nothing to me, son. Nothing, right? You're a clown. clown.
And I've communicated with him through text, privately, and we're on good terms.
No, we're not.
I didn't play that video at the beginning of this to like expose Dell. I just wanted to.
There's nothing to expose. Dell played the lot of you and knew you're exposing yourselves. You're a fucking numpty, son. You fell into the trap yet again, right? And you're cozying up to an active criminal.
To be put out in the records, and I want to take a closer look at what's really going on. I think that having people such as Tim and P Mars and Twitwit and all these other people involved that are willing to hang out and talk civilly with us, more dogmatic flat earth types. I'm not including you in that, Lori, but dogmatic flat earth types like myself or like other top names that that are really diehard flat earthers. I think that's a good idea. I don't think that there should be such a separation between the small channels and the large channels. I think we should start averaging out. Yep. What do you say to that, Tim?
No, I gotta say, I was watching chat when all that was happening. People are in there in hate. I mean, these are supposed to be flat earthers, right? So much for flat earth love and friendship. They were writing in there.
Who said flat earth love and friendship? Who mentioned anything about everybody should be love and friendship? That's your projection, you silly old goat. People are people, right? Not everybody's going to like everybody. People are in a serious situation here where they're realising the world that they've been told is a fucking sham and a lie, right? So you have all sorts of emotion and different levels of people. Not everybody's going to be lovey-dovey. And you're pissed off because people realise that you're a manipulating, lying old goat, right? And that's your problem. And you're going to act like a victim. You ain't no victim. You're an instigator, missus. As I said before, that's why you live out in the middle of nowhere, right? Because you've probably made that many fucking enemies with your manipulative, lying ways that you have to live like that.
That I'm an animal. I go out and kill animals for fun. I'm an animal killer. If you're writing things like I go out and kill animals for fun, go look at her video. She goes out and kills animals for fun. It was a deer hunting video. You know that. I have pets. I love animals. So and they're writing.
What a contradiction. What a fucking contradiction. I have pets. I love animals, but I'll shoot the ones and eat the ones. That's the whole point of what I was saying about the place being a fucking walking abomination, a contradiction. And she's a perfect example of a fucking contradiction. A confused mess, schizophrenic in her own fucking mind, right? Unable to discern and make decisions and analyse what's really going on in reality. Just a fucking shambles.
She's a Jew. So what? I'm not a Jew. But so flat earth love is about hating on Jews.
What's this flat earth love? Where is she getting this shite from? Projection, her insistence.
Animal killer and all kinds of spit and hate, and Dell's little cult people are in there saying the worst kind of crap
Dell's little cult people
you could ever see. I'm watching a chat going by, and I still got it recorded because I have a copy of the whole thing. And I'm watching this, and then they banned me from chat, so I can't even defend myself. They banned me from chat when it's like this is flat earth. I want no part of it.
Good. Get yourself to fuck out of here. You and your cronies. And I swear to you, that's what I'm going to focus on. My attention will be on activism, but my other attention is going to be outing you fucking clowns until you fuck off and leave, right?
I'm treated better at Tim's. I'm treated better there than I am other places.
Okay. The thing is that you can take this as a big compliment from everybody because they relate to you. They empathize with you a lot. They are affected by what you think. When they see your face and what you're telling them, your judgments and the calls you make affects people internally. So take this as a good sign. The fact that
See, there you go. They're getting off in the fact, thinking that people are emotionally affected internally by things that Laurie Gale and stuff says. They're now showing the game yet again. They want you emotionally invested and emotionally attached to fake characters when it should never even be in the question, right?
You're being banned from places, That means you're affecting people. You have power. Not that you have power over them, but people are.
No, people are probably ejecting her because they know that she's a divisive, lying old goat, right? And you're sitting there cozying up to her. You're a lying, divisive little goat validation boy.
They want me to defend myself in chat because they're telling people that I'm an animal killer.
And your pish with fucking Oakley going on, let's have a debate with Timmy and, let's string it out yet again, knowing fine well that it's not a debate, but still partaking in it as it's a debate without declaring to people and making people aware that it's not a debate. It should never be addressed as a debate. The objective world is not up for debate. It's only discussion.
For fun. They kill animals fun.
I mean, yeah. How many times have all three of us here on this panel right now, there's been times when we've been attacked by a group of people live on the air, and then we go in to defend ourselves, and we've been banned.
Yep.
And they just continue to trash us. That's happened to all of us. That's
because you don't have a spine and you don't actually come in and speak to people face to face. You stick to the comments comment section spewing crap, right? This platform was opened up to everybody and still is. If you have something to say, you come and say it to my face, right? If you don't, you're a manipulative little fucking shite bag, an insecure mess who deserves no respect, no attention whatsoever. You should be viewed as a divisive little fucking goat, which is exactly what you are. And as I say again, you have now exposed yourself by partaking in this, sir.
Kind of stuff is what inspired a lot of my hate towards those I used to call top brass or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too lovable right about now either.
But those were old times, and people have changed. So, you know, I don't know. I kind of want to see a more civil discourse overall,
right?
Coming from both sides.
Yep, and that's what I set up. That's the standard I set on this platform with the Hangouts. Civil discussion, people no interrupting each other, and then it was mimicked. So don't sit there and try and take credit for it, you fucking ugly, baldy little shite. Right? You're nothing. You've offered nothing. Right? I'm the one who put that forward, put it to people that it's a discussion and it can only be a civil discussion. You fucking muppets are the ones playing the games, the manipulative games. And no, because you think I was going to take a back seat, you think you're going to sit there and lap up the credit? No chance, my man. No chance. I've not invested 2 years of my energy and focus intently on this to walk away and leave it up to lick spittle like you to go forward. Not a fucking hope in hell, wee man.
And I feel like Twitwit and PMars and Tim right now, and most of the time for Tim, and as he is right now, he's just being very cool and cool-headed. And this is the best way to talk anything out. More ideas are going to get transferred to both sides. You know, both sides want
more ideas are going to get transferred to both sides. That translates as more derpy, fucking imaginative crap. You don't need ideas when we're looking at objective truth. Ideas and all this stuff that he's trying to spin now is religious fucking hogwash. Subjective derpism, right? Again, they're showing their hand and what their method and their game actually is.
To convert the other side, to be honest. So,
you know, the worst part of what was played by Al wasn't even on the clip he played. He went off with the C word, like he called me a cunt. He said my husband was a cunt.
Well, you would say to me in the comments or whatever it was, would you say that to me and my husband if my husband was standing there? Yes, I would. Yes, I fucking would say it to you. I would say it right to your fucking face, right? Because I have got a spine. You don't, right? Your husband's probably sick of your fucking emotion, manipulative, lying ways.
My husband is a cunt. I'm a cunt because I killed deer. I mean, you should have heard it. It was insane. I mean, I want to take I have a copy of the whole video, take the mp3 and put it up for the world to hear.
Put it up for the world to hear.
Man.
The world's not interested in you and your fucking wee circle jerks. The world doesn't give a fuck about your nonsense, missus. These are insignificant nobodies.
There's this guy calling him a cunt. You know what he wanted to do? That's flat earth. And people are standing behind this guy.
See, there we go again. People are standing behind this guy. You know, try and portray him in a certain way and try and keep people away from the channel and the platform. That's their whole game because it's a threat.
Oh yeah, they'll continue to. These people, like I said, they're righteous in their actions because they spit the flat earth stuff as a meme. So it doesn't matter if
this little fucking gimp, this flat earth sophism meme, he is the epitome of sophism, this character, right? I would love this fucking numpty to actually get his face on camera to watch him crumble. But he's just a wee shite bag and nobody who hides behind anonymity.
He's not even good at it, Dale.
No.
He's not even good at his sophism.
No, he's pathetic at it.
Crap.
But he sits there, you can tell, you know, he'd been schooled in that, and he sits there and Cam and then Timmy ads. He's just a fucking annoying little wretched rat. You know what I mean? Vermin with nothing. No curvature, no understanding of the scientific method, real science, no understanding of real logic. Well, as I said before, he probably does understand it, but chooses to be manipulative, you know, chooses to be like Spittle. You know?
He might be schooled in it, but that doesn't mean he knows what it means.
No. When it actually comes to applying it to the real world, real life events, real people, it falls short. You know, it's all right for him in the safety of his classroom, in the safety of his fucking circle jerk, you know, where he gets a gold star and a merit. You know, when it comes to actual practical reality and real people, yet again, he's going to fall short every fucking time. You know what I mean?
Well, he's failed to trap, right? You know, I mean, he's never had a civil discourse. He's never shown his face. He's just hiding. Huh? It's just rather pathetic, really, isn't it, for a grown man?
Exactly.
It just shows you they're just boys, you know, just boys with any sense.
Yeah, but, you know, not even with their own mind, they're like Spittle. They're probably getting fed a script, you know?
A bad one. They're getting fucking so.
Yeah. So I'll give you another 5 minutes of this crap.
someone is basically a Freemason, that's Freemasons are, creating this whole lie in the first place, or if they lie about, their research and how they were Flat Earth Society members when they were supposedly doing research. No one cares. They don't care, because all it is they confirm their confirmation bias to them, and basically they will, be righteous in that way. So that's all we see here. And I think that you see the quality of people in the Flat Earth to even go there in general, because if you watch one of his shows, you watch all of them. He has very basic arguments, and I tried to exploit them, and he didn't even adjust his argumentation. He did nothing. He just kept on, because just like Nathan Oakley in the chat, well, Joe must be doing something right. He's got 500 live listeners and 5,000.
See, again, he's talking about argumentation. He's talking from a debate stance. And I know you understand this, Gav. How can the objective world that we share be a debate?
Well, fucking can he be? It's a nonsense position to take. You can't sit and take two positions about the objective truth. All you can do is go out and discover it. Exactly. I mean, it's absolute pish what they're talking. Yeah.
So it's
that's their plan, isn't it? I mean, that's been their plan, to debate and divide. I've seen that fucking universities, debating societies. It's the same old game they play.
Yeah.
It's the same game they play in courtrooms, and people can see through it now, though. Huh?
That's it. Well, I'm going to keep focusing on it and make sure people see through it. And keep reiterating the fact the reason that things don't change when you represent the truth is because the truth doesn't change. The reason that they change and adapt their arguments is because they're sophists, and they're looking to win over people by argumentative ways, like politicians in Parliament, looking to sway your opinion by emotional manipulation, no focused on the actual objective truth of anything. Just whoever can win gets the funding and has that bit of power and the sway for that amount of time. So when you hear these clowns repeating that your stance doesn't change, your debate, your argumentation never changes, that they're looking for a straw man. They're looking to drag you into a nonsensical, endless debate, right? Because if you're debating ideology. You don't debate the natural world, the objective truth. It is what it is, and it can only be discussed and discovered and measured, just as Gav said. It's as simple as that, right? So again, these people are exposing themselves clearly for what they are, and what their whole MO is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's see
the subs, and that's what this is about to someone like Nate. This is about getting his face out there and being somebody that he wasn't throughout his life, and that's quite obvious. So this is all about subs to some people, and to some people it is about truth, and they have been sucked into a lie and probably a psyop. And I've said it before, but if this is a psyop, you guys are literally playing into the hands of the people that you're supposedly.
Yeah, the psyop is Timmy Osmond and his crew. The psyop is the detractors, the people who pushed maps and models, who pushed debate, who pushed all the nonsensical sophism crap. That's where the psyop is. The real truth is that the globe is nonsense. The psyop is the people and the characters who are involved in amongst the whole question, who are trying to detract and divide real people from discovery and asking real questions. That's the psyop. Timmy Osmond and his cronies and everybody that's involved with him are part of the psyop. Now, if you get involved with him and you're just an innocent person, it won't take you long to figure it out. But from now on, people who are moving in circles with these people, I'm going to point at, they are the players. Anybody who's given them attention, making them relevant as if they have something to offer or contribute to the discussion, are at it. Simple as that.
So I would try to be a little more unbiased in this subject if you're really going to truly believe this and be a believer.
And so unbiased in the subject we hear him talking about, but yet continues to try and push religious globe crap. We had him on, I don't know if you remember this, Gav, we had this character on talking about water. Oh, but a ship, when it's pushing water, it conforms to the hull of the ship. Total sophism. So he talks like, he's open-minded and looking for discussion, when really he comes with religious fucking hogwash and trying to perpetuate it,
Aye, absolutely. I wasn't on that channel. I didn't see that one, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me a bit what you're telling me, man. Yeah. It's so obvious to anybody who's been around.
Unbiased, because it turns out we're wrong. We're going to feel awful silly.
Wrong about what? This is the thing. If it turns out we're wrong, we're going to feel awful silly. Well, there's no claims being made here at this platform, so there's nothing to be wrong about. The claim that was focused on was a globe. How are you going to disprove level, flat water? You're not going to disprove it. The place is covered in it, right? So we're not wrong. It's based on observable, testable, repeatable reality. The laws of physics, the behaviour of water is never going to change. Curvature is not going to magically appear, right?
Well, it can if you make mathematical theories, then it magically appears. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be Mr. Gauss. The remarkable theorem, it's called. Theorem Gregorium. The remarkable theorem. He even had the cheek to call it that. The remarkable theorem.
So
So I wanted to stay until I learned I personally don't think we'll ever know, but it's still interesting to look at. But I refuse to take a firm stand on flat earth because it's unproven.
Let me ask you guys both. Okay, let me ask Tim first, and then I want to answer from both of you guys. So keep it generally brief for however long you really need to take. But like, what if all flat earthers were exactly like validation boy? How would you feel about it, Tim?
wow. We're really getting into the depths of sociopathy, narcissism, psychopathy here. How would you feel about everybody being like validation boy? Man, these people give me the fucking book. Honesty, fuck.
Pass the sick bag.
I think that's enough. I've heard everything I need to hear now.
I'll go for 5 more minutes. Come on, man. It's funny.
This.
All the good positive things that you just said towards me when it comes to me being a fire dogmatist.
I think it would be a little bit better, but the thing is you don't exactly go around and muddy the waters with a bunch of different conspiracies. That some of them are legit, some of them are absolute garbage. So you have all these auto hoax mixed in with flat Earth. You have some legitimate stuff, and so when anyone with a rational mind looks at someone like Dogmatic Dell or Russian vids, for example, they get turned off to the quote unquote truth, right? And there are good people out there. Like I would suggest people go and watch Jay Dyer. He's excellent philosophy, excellent when it comes to the conspiracy. He'll throw some in, but he's not going to auto hoax everything like.
I don't know who this guy is that Timmy's pushing, but if it's somebody that Timmy's pushing, it'll be fucking bollocks.
You said it. I'll be missing that channel.
Timmy's a brainless fucking moron. So
that's kind of what we need is more legitimate people in this quote unquote truth movement, because when something like this and Globebusters comes out and they just expand and trap all these people, some of them are like actually intelligent people, and it's quite confusing, but it really does exemplify.
But Timmy, some of these people are quite intelligent people, but Timmy knows better. Timmy is a belittling little fucking prick, disrespecting people to think they would be so fucking gullible. Listen to him. He's a fucking arrogant little piece of shite, is what he is.
People's confirmation bias, number one.
Confirmation bias, Timmy. Confirmation bias is, the natural physics of water is that it does not conform to exterior shapes. But confirmation bias is, but when a ship gets through the water, it pushes the water around the shape of the hull. That's confirmation bias. That's clutching at straws. Sophist, desperately trying to, push nonsense to support your religious crap.
You can look at someone like Bob and see that he's admitted 20-year conspiracy theorist. Like, okay, well, I understand why you're so into the flat earth and so dogmatic about it. We'll not debate people like John LeBon or me or anybody of any stature in the globe defense.
Stature? You have no stature. You keep calling it a debate yet again. What a complete and utter fucking clown. How many times is he going to say debate? Why does he keep fucking saying that? Are they really that fucking stupid? This is what I'm saying to people. They can't be that stupid. It should be glaringly obvious to people that these fucking characters are in it for manipulation to push an agenda
on their show. So that's what flat earthers need to understand is that your top people are promoting echo chambers, and even when they're not.
Who's top people? They keep talking about this as if it's an organisation and there's this hierarchical structure, where there's ones at the top bossing and ruling everybody else. That's not what's going on here. These, again, they're showing their game, but trying to keep saying it. They keep putting this mantra, leaders, top brass, it's them that push it. As I say to people, they're on both sides, so look at the ones who are doing it, and Timmy's making it fucking obvious.
People like Dell, where they pretend not to be, he still is, because we get banned and kicked and all kinds of shit, so.
Okay, fair enough. Well, like
banned and kicked. Timmy, you sniped the hangout, son. You never came in. You were told that you could come in. You didn't have to disguise your account. You came in under a fake account, thinking you were being devious and sneaky, as if we were trying to avoid you. When you were given an open invitation to come in, and you sniped the hangout because you're an insecure little gimp that has got nothing. Your sophist arguments have been debunked so many times that the only thing you have is to try and use bully tactics. It's like getting into the playground and you've not got the sophistication to engage with people, so you take out your big stick and you start bashing people because you're so insecure and inept and lacking within yourself. You're a fucking clown.
I would say that these top channels and their chats and the people that you're saying are trapped in there. It's if it wasn't for a place like that existing, none of the magic would happen at all. Nobody would get to say their brilliant ideas to anybody else. Because see, what's happening there is intelligent people mingling with each other, sharing ideas that sometimes don't even have anything to do with what Globebusters are presenting. And they have it's a decent chat. It could be, or it can be sometimes. Excuse me. And so there's a lot of activity happening there. And I just think that without them doing that, whether or not you believe that some of their stuff is disinfo or not, that's still the place that the magic happens.
But I agree. Like that's why I even say that at least they dig into other subjects to completely be fallacious. Like I totally appreciate that, because when they do that, it makes me go back and research at least the official story, so I know that against the flat Earth claims.
Again, they're talking about different conspiracies here that are so far out with people, things that you will never experience, you will never know truly for yourself what went on. That's the same. The majority of these conspiracies that he wants to throw in there. Again, for me, you would separate the subject. This subject is something that everybody can experience. It doesn't require a debate. All the other subjects will bring about debates, because it's something that people are not experiencing. They're taking it from textbooks, they're taking it from hearsay. It's just stuff that's not directly in people's experience. So for me, this, again, the whole question of the Earth is directly experienceable by every single person alive. That's the difference here. So what is the point in attaching other subjects that will cause debate and detract from this actual question, right? Because this question opens up and brings down the lot, every single one of the other conspiracies. So
absolutely, Dale. The natural philosophy is the only one that we can all make an objective experience of and reason about. Any other conspiracy, you're not going to know. It's difficult to tell a pack of liars from a pack of liars. Do you know what I mean? So you're just going to be lost down rabbit holes, which is what they want you to do. So, stick to the absolute focus.
But when somebody tells you in this that bodies of water can be curved and bend and run shapes, every single person alive can go out and test and observe the natural world and know that that's total fucking crap. There is no debate. There is no big 5, 10, 15-year conspiracy saga to go along with it. It's simple, and can be answered very quickly by people's direct experience.
Exactly, that's the one. That's why it will bring down the rest, because people can go out, they can test that for themselves, they can see the truth, and then the rest of it, they'll wake up to the rest of the stuff, or ignore it as it should be ignored, if it's irrelevant.
Exactly. So what will we give it? It's at 37 minutes. We'll go to 45.
Aye, all right.
Discussion between ourselves.
And 9 times out of 10, if not every time, the heliocentric model is just absolutely superior. So
see, there we go. Timmy Shoney's hand.
Sorry, just had to laugh. Sorry, man. There you go.
No, but it is so laughable. The heliocentric model is superior. Again, it's based on a fallacy. Timmy only thinks that because the majority of people believe it. I don't give a fuck if everybody believes it. Doesn't make it true. Timmy, my old son, you have zero proof. You have images from institutions who you arse-lick, and that's about it, my old son. No actual measurable proof of the claim you're actually making. I can go to any religion or any book and see images and pictures, and is it logical then to believe because it's in a book and they show me a picture that it's true? No, it's not. You need actual measurable scientific proof for the claims you're making, sonny boy.
That's why I'm out here. I mean, there's no other reason. I don't get paid for this shit.
Aye, you do, you lying little fuck.
No matter what some of these people think, I don't.
You're not involved in this for 2 years obsessively. You do get paid. It's either that or it's true. You're a fucking vile little criminal who's been caught in the act, and you're not strong enough to take the punishment that was coming to you, so you opted for this. You opted to shite on your fellow man, you fucking vagrant, fucking vermin little prick. You're shiting and holding back real people with families, people who do care, right? You are an obstacle that gets in the road of that, and you should be fucking removed and dealt with, you little fucking gimp.
And I've literally spent probably 1,000 or more hours in this subject. And, you know, it would be a great deed to some of these people like Infinite Plane Society to have me on to get some of this information that, you know, because some of these people have concluded it's flat and really don't really talk about flat Earth.
Information. So Timmy wants to form things in your mind, right? No actual proof of any claims, right? Just wants to fill you with fucking bollocks. He's sophism.
Like Nathan Oak. I mean, he literally sits there and has these shows where he talks about basically everything but flat Earth. Then when you get him on to talk about flat Earth, all he has is, I've traveled around the world and it seems flat. I mean, like these top people don't have any argumentation. So that's why I will step in and I will help them out, because there are legitimate people.
Oh, listen to this little prick. He's so great on you, doesn't he? He thinks he's a fucking saviour. He's a deluded fucking cretin. You know what I mean? Wouldn't it surprise me if he's sitting in some fucking room locked in with a tag, you know? Timmy Osmond here to save the world, and he even says he's been involved in it for 2 years. Well, if he's been involved in it for 2 years and he had actual solid proof, why is it still going? Why is it still growing and more people coming to it? What a deluded creep. You know?
Absolutely.
Let's have you, Timmy. Let's get you in for a discussion and see how you can hold it with real men and real people. Where are you?
Come on, Timmy.
Where are you, son? Get in the chat and let us know you're there. You little fucking gimp. Let's see what you've got to say. Come in and snipe us. You know, prove us right yet again. Let's have you. Are you there? Let's have a look and chat.
Aye, get him in. All arse-lickers welcome.
Everybody in chat, is Timmy Osmond here? Any of these gimps here? Aye, Tim Nice but dim. Well said, Night Angel. See, there's somebody saying this. X at the centre of a flat dish, look up blood over intent. When anybody was saying this, you know, I came out and said I feel for there's a way out, and then all of a sudden, you know, it was jumped upon by characters claiming there was a hole at the centre of the dish, and, you know, there's a way out, and blah, blah, blah. But really, I just postulated, you know, there's a possibility there's a way out. When I logically look at the whole game, the psychological, the physical control, it would tell me there's a reason why they don't want us exploring. Maybe, you know, possibly there is a way out, you know.
Right, let's keep all options open, but it's immaterial to speculate on it now, right, if we can't explore, so.
Yeah, that's it. So does anybody know, do we have any of these characters involved in the chat? Somebody let us know. Why have flat earthers never talked about orbital mechanics, Aurora 1775? Why don't you talk about it, Jazzaconda? Nah, we've obviously not got any of them prominent. You know, there's none here. Running and hiding as usual. Right. So, I mean, the whole point of me doing this again this morning is because I knew I would draw them. I knew they would display something like this because they are very keen to get me removed, to get this channel removed, to keep the focus and attention on these other illogical creeps who will perpetuate people in nonsense and try and keep people going round in circles. You know, as I say, look at the validation boy with the lighting and stuff. It has mimicked all this stuff to try and be popular and try and be relevant. You know, my incentive is never to be popular or any of that stuff. My incentive is only to represent the truth. Now, if I'm representing the truth and pushing the truth and people warm and come to that, that's the truth that's responsible for that. No me. You know, people are not interested in who I am, me personally. It's the truth that's important to people. That's what's missing for these people.
Absolutely. They're just leaky sponges, you know. There's absolutely no substance coming out of them, you know. It's just gooey fucking poultice, yeah? And it should be battered in a bam pot with a big bam stick, because that's all it's fucking good for.
Yeah. You see them in it, you know, that's becoming a real problem for them because we want to stick to that subject and and stick to what's important, what the actual facts of the situation are, and push it. And that is a serious threat to any manipulative organisation. So, you know, when you see these characters rearing up to that, that tells you where their priorities and their loyalty lies, you know, because it's certainly not the truth.
Absolutely, man. No, the message given out on this platform is exactly the correct one. Huh? It's the truth that matters. It's all everybody needs to care about, and it's certainly not about people, you know. So, but the good people see that now. Huh? The real discerning people see it. So,
Yeah. So I'm reading in the chat. Wait a minute here.
Are we at 45 yet, are we?
No, I'm not even going to play the video. You know, Timmy gives me the book. You know, I've listened to enough of his sophism and his fucking delusional behaviour. A lot of them are delusional. They've exposed themselves. You know, I'm not going to waste time on them. If they keep coming to me, then I will, you know, point at them. But really, people should be really, really making them irrelevant. They are a laughing stock. You know, not the brightest, nothing to offer. Just ignore them like rats in the corner. That's what they are. Rats in the corner trying to scurry about to get some scraps. That's it. Vincent P. Beyond the Imaginary Curve, great man, you will not go down. No, I will not go down. You know, I'll kid day people on that arm, you know, if I want to rise at them, which is exactly what I go. Jazakonda, if you could disprove orbital mechanics, that's the best chance you have of proving that space is fake and the Earth can't be a globe. How about you just show us a fucking actual practical example or a scale model of your orbital mechanics? Huh? Freako, show me. What, you want me to disprove something that's written in a book? I can disprove it easy. It's illogical fucking crap. If there's no practical example, it is disproved itself. Any muppet can write something down in a book and make it seem feasible, right? Doesn't constitute valid, scientific, measurable, repeatable proof. You clown.
Right. There's that difference always between natural science and formal science that people just need to understand, you know. I mean, I think people watching this are you know, hopefully do understand the difference. So anybody coming with a mathematical equation is some kind of proof, or asking somebody else to come up with an alternative mathematical equation without talking about the actual definitions and assumptions that are behind it, the theory, the notion, you know, what is actually being said in common words. If they can't do that, then it's just pish they're talking. Pure pish.
Yes,
you know.
Somebody just put in the comments there, you know, level equals water. You know, it's as simple as that, and they'll try everything to take it away. You know, that is a natural element. That is how it behaves. You know, and as I said last night, and I've been saying repeatedly, you don't devise a man-made instrument that is less accurate than the thing you're trying to measure in the first place. You know,
absolutely. So, just because they can equate, you know, just because a mathematician will equate level curved water to the normal tangent to a rotating spinning ball with respect to the fixed stars, it's just nonsense. I mean, think about what's being said there, you know? It's just words, you know, and then wrapped up in a mathematical equation to obfuscate people, yeah? It's just shite. So anybody asking to be proven orbital mechanics is on a false horse, if you ask me.
Exactly. And just because they've had a schooling and a merit, and they think that they're dignified and intelligent and, you know, wise, and they speak and come across like that, it doesn't matter. I do not care who they are. If they have no practical examples of the claims they are making, then it is religious sophist crap. And it's as simple as that, you know. And that is how simple it is. That is where the threat comes from this platform, because they know that we will keep it simple and keep it to the bare truth and the bare minimum, you know.
And we'll give people the information they need to be able to make those discernments, huh? Whether it's outing shills or whether it's understanding the difference between natural and formal sciences. Everybody needs to understand how this sophism works, you know. And we will definitely not stop exposing it. So,
and as I seen off on Reddit said a wee couple of minutes ago, I don't ask people to believe me. You know, I don't want people to believe anything or follow anybody. I want you to know it for yourself and to understand it, and that's what's important to me. You know, it's pointless for, you know, this just to get popular and people to go with it because it's popular. That's never going to solve anything. We're going to end up back in the same situation eventually, unless people get critical. They understand logic, reasoning, they understand natural science, and they really know it. You know, not just believing it or being emotionally swayed by manipulators, right? So that is always going to be the push and the drive here. It is, you know, it is beneficial to me to have a world populated by critical, logical thinking people, you know, no based in emotional responses and reactions. That is where our problems are coming from. They have managed to persuade people that you should react on your emotions, you know, and when your emotions are already based on a false foundation and confusion, then your emotional knee-jerk reactions are going to bring you more problems. If you have understanding logic and how you can look at the world and dissect what people are telling you through that process, by removing your emotional knee-jerk reaction, you will understand and get somewhere a lot quicker. You know?
And Dale, that's exactly what they're scared of. You know, you just need to see the street interviews to see how quickly it can be torn down. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know what the record is, but you know, within 5 minutes, people are waking up, right? You know, and I'm starting to understand and see those differences, and that's what scares the fuck out of them. Yeah, they know that is the way to make this whole thing fucking, you know, worldwide exposed, yeah. And
that's the beauty. You get these characters like Timmy who talk about science. Well, when you actually point out to science, when you can logically show, you know, how religious argumentation and how religious aspects work by showing an image, you know, and then you can show it in the same aspects of what they claim to be science, you know, it falls apart. You can identify very quickly that it is religious, you know, and when people want to discuss science, then real natural science is what we can actually observe, not what's written down in a bit of paper. Now, when you appeal to people's common sense, like, you know, when I do in the street interviews with the water and, you know, the pressurised systems, their common sense and their reasoning kicks in very, very quickly. And just because of the 20 years of programming, as soon as you flick that switch, then that programming starts to fall.
That's it, because it's inborn into you, you know. I mean, you have these natural capabilities, these faculties to be able to discern, yeah. You have a natural language, you know, by seeing, by touching, by feeling, by hearing, you know, by licking, tasting, you know, all these things are exactly the natural language. It's not the words that come on top of that of just, you know, are there to confuse you, you know. But as soon as people get back to the natural signs that they can see and actually attend to them, you know, what they're seeing and not the image that's been implanted into their heads, then it's so easy. I mean, you see, it's 5 minutes, you know, and it's in everybody. That's why it's so scary for them, you know, because we can all wake up instantly.
You don't need a mathematical equation to know that fire will burn you, you know.
Are you fucking right? You
don't need a mathematical equation to know that water's flat and level. You know what I mean? So, but they've managed to convince people that this language, this formal science of mathematics, has sway over everything. So if they can come up with something that's correct on paper, but you have to negate common sense, observable reality in favour of this trite, you know, and it's just not going to wash with people anymore.
No,
you know?
No, you can't ask people to deny the stuff that gets them from one street side to the other street side without getting knocked down, you know. Just ignore all that and just show, here's my picture, you know. You know, sorry, that's just not going to cut it with the normal men, you know, men and women. So
the world would be a disaster. Imagine trying to build fucking that, you know. How do we store the water? Oh, the mathematician says the water will pile up and top of itself. So, you know.
So, well, we need to keep it spinning with respect to the fixed stars, right enough. But otherwise, other than that, I remember we laughed about that. The place is 80% water. Fuck, we're 80% water. You know, it would just be really funny if it wasn't contained. We'd just all melt. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
Fucking nonsense.
But you know, their sophism is getting boring now. You know, and as this goes up a notch, you know, as I say, I'm not here to be anybody's pal. I have done what I've done. You know, I can hold my head up high in regards to pushing the truth for people. You know, but now I've got a bee in my bonnet. You know, I think I'm going to proportion a segment of my attention to outing these characters and the manipulative games that they play. You know, because nobody seems to do that. People just seem to get involved with them, you know, and give them a place. So I'm not interested in giving them a place. They're vermin, you know. And how I treat vermin is I lift the board, let the vermin run, and the dog will bite them, you know, and snap their fucking neck, you know. I don't mean that literally, you know. But if it happened to them, I wouldn't be fucking bothered either.
It's just mice chewing rope.
Yeah, ankle biters, nuisance, annoyances, you know. They're not up here with intellectual discussion, you know. And Timmy, you know, I hope Timmy shows his face in front of me because I want to belittle him and show him for the numpty that he actually is, you know, and any of the other cronies that he's involved with, you know. Bring them all here, you know. They've got nothing to offer but sniping.
It might be quite a good idea just to devote a wee section on a Saturday, you know, just to, how should I say, exposing vermin, you know. We should keep it down to 10 minutes, you know, just for to brighten up the day, you know. But
yeah, laugh at the lick, Spittle.
Yeah, arse lickers. Yeah, we can just expose the arse licker of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, and right now, the arse licker of the week is Validation Boy. Stockholm Syndrome extraordinaire, you know. So this is. I knew this is what they would do, though. I just didn't know it was going to be Validation Boy, but I knew one of them would have a hangout, you know, and try and jump on it. And it's really, you know, when I look at it now, it makes sense because Validation Boy has been trying to mimic Getty's lighting down to a T, trying to mimic how Minds comes across. Although Minds is not contrived, it just happens to be the situation and the way it actually is. But they're trying to figure out, you know, why is things popular? How can we be relevant? Well, they're missing the whole point. The reason that it's popular and relevant is because you tell the fucking truth. So how about you ditch your fake nonsense and tell the truth? Then you might get popular. you know. But I know you're in a position where you're not allowed to tell the truth because you'll get your wee hand slapped by your master, like Spittle. You know, I don't have a master. You know. So I think that's a great idea. You know, a wee proportion of the hangouts on a Saturday, we'll discuss their antics and see what they're up to, you know, and laugh at them.
Definitely needs to just keep, how should I say, putting out the information to help other people make these discernments, you know, because I do understand that there's a lot of people out there that, you know, haven't been down the same path or, you know, aren't open to all the different things. So, you know, they're maybe still taken in by it. So I think it's important to keep highlighting sophism, rhetoric, you know, the fallacies so that people, you know, can see through it better. So I'll not stop doing that.
No, it's the same with me. Repetition, the truth is repetitive. You know, it's been 2 years of repeating and I still will, you know. But every now and again, when these people think they're clever, you know, I'll lull them in and set a trap for them, as I done last night. You know, and it worked a treat, you know. And then we had characters appearing, you know, trying to distract that I would never go back to mentioning the names again. And I will come back around to mentioning the names again, you know. But that was phase one, completed, you know. It gave me what I wanted when I got up this morning, which is wonderful. I can only thank their stupidity, you know, and how easy it actually is. So let's see. And again, you know, I'll reiterate it. You know, I'm only interested in people who really want the truth and cut through the bullshit. You know, I accept that people don't like me, that not everybody's going to like me, that people will get a wrong impression of me, but that's really down to them. What should be important to you is who is representing the truth and whether or not you really want the truth. And that's a question that people really need to search deep for. Do you really want the truth? Is this just, you know, exciting for you because you feel as if you're part of some subculture? Are you just liking the entertainment aspect? I mean, you know, be serious with yourself. You know, I know why I'm involved in it, and that's not going to change. So
absolutely, yeah, you're speaking exactly the same way I would think, Chief Man.
So what else can we say? You know, I'm not going to listen to any more of their fucking waffle.
I can give you a little bit of update on some of the stuff I've been doing.
Right, go for it.
If you want. And so I've looked out all the, you know, different university departments that have YouTube channels.
Yep.
So I've found about 175 of them. So I'm going to be posting quite a few, you know, academic questions, let's say, you know, regarding the search for the truth about the levelness of water. And I can only hope that, you know, we'll put a video up about it and some text so that people can actually, you know, use that text to do maybe the same, so that we get, you know, the people in education actually out discussing this with the common man, you know, in a reasonable manner, yeah, and for them to also understand, you know, how they've been duped, and how they've been taken in by the mathematics and the physics, yeah, and how they still, if they just make that different realization, then they can also see the bigger picture. So, you know, that's where my focus is at the moment, is chasing academia, to use that loose phrase, you know. And the other thing, you know, I've had some replies back already of people that are interested, so it's not as if it's completely closed down. Yeah, there are other people out there with brains, who understand that there's more to this than what meets the eye. So especially all this, you know, the geometry of vision, it's something I'm going to continue researching and inquiring. I'm not saying I've got all the answers, but, you know, all this fucking coincidence with the all-seeing eye, and the geometry of vision and how visual perception is manipulated, that's something that needs to come out into the open, so that people see it for what it really is. For me, things like that, you know, are so significant, and it's plainly obvious. Again, it comes back to experience. It's like an internal gyroscope, you know, for us to have that vision, to have a sense of balance, to know up, down, left, right, and every other direction. For me, that can only begin from a level parallel. You know, you start it from any other, you know, a sphere, a convex, you know, concave, you know, where is up, down, left, right? You know, you then have to start invoking all this pish about relativity, you know? Absolutely.
It's total nonsense. When our instruments, you know, the eye, you know, the fact that we have balance in these things tells me, you know, and again, the same with the liquid, the water, you know, water displays that everywhere you go, and it doesn't matter what you do with it, you know, so what is it levelling off to? You know, it must be levelling off to the actual plane of existence that we're upon, you know? How the full mechanical physics of that work is still to be looked at, you know, because it's certainly not the bullshit that they've fed us.
No, not at all. I mean, they've got that obsession with the all-seeing eye, and it, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's no coincidence that the geometry of vision is something that's been ignored for 1,500 years, you know? I mean, people have been writing about this, people have been trying it. Thomas Reid was the last guy that, you know, did it. I can again only say, look at the geometry of visibles and understand what the man's trying to say. And then the man disappears for 300 years again, yeah? And during that 300 years, all the nonsense gets talked about, all the fairy stories come out, you know? Just because we don't understand how our vision works and how visual perception is completely different from tangible reality, right? And that's what they can play on by implanting ideas, over our visual perception. Instead of us coming back to the, you need to know if an object is hot or cold, whether it's soft or hard, whether it's rough or smooth, whether it's ragged or jagged, whether it's wide. None of these things are in your head, right? They're in the object. They're in the natural object, and you get those sensations when you touch it. But they've got us thinking that there's half of it's in our heads, but it's only the visual perception part that's in your heads, and that's how they can manipulate you. At the end of the day, every other quality of a body, of a natural substance, has to be touched, smelt, felt, heard, kicked, whatever it is you do. And that's what you can do with water every day, and as soon as they try and separate the substance of nature from any of their ideas or their abstractions, then they're just playing on you, and anybody who doesn't focus in on that topic right now, is a deluder, is a deceiver, is an arse slicker, anything else is just absolute nonsense. And if you haven't figured that out yet, then go away and think about it and come back, So I can say, and that includes all the academics, that need to have exactly that same realization,
That's it, and that's where you can see the sophism and how the charlatans have played on that, people's lack of understanding. That's why one of their arguments, their go-to about viewing things straight ahead of you over water, because there's an optical effect happening there. They want to ignore the fact that we know the body of water must be level because it's not flowing. Therefore there is no curvature to it. So what we're experiencing is an optical thing. It's something that we need to understand. But they just want to use it. That's the sophism part. Let's look at it straight in front. When we have this optical illusion, we'll never show you over land, right enough. We can only show you it happening straight ahead of you over water. And then again the contradictions come in. When they're trying to invoke curvature at 3 to 12 miles straight in front of you, but you have an unobstructed view up to 100 miles left to right, and we don't see any curvature. Now, you can go to geometry, as I've said before, take an equilateral triangle. If somebody's standing at the beach and you're saying to them that at 12 miles, the observer is A, the ship is B, and you have another observer C, who is, at that angle from each of the observer and the ship that they're looking. Now, if somebody's suggesting that you're seeing a ship going over that curve, at that range, then the observer C should be able to visually see left to right curvature.
Absolutely.
But it's not. So we know fine well it's sophism. We know fine well there's an optical understanding that has to be had in regards to how our eyes work and how our perception works. And it's pure and simple. It's an ongoing investigation that these people, want to try and avoid.
Oh, absolutely, because they know that's where the con is. That's one of their key points to keeping everybody deluded. I mean, they'll try and muddy the waters with all kinds of effects like atmospheric effects. And I'm not denying that these things don't exist, but they are not the nub of the argument, right? That again is distraction. Sure, there is different things that will affect how people view. I mean, we even talked about it. Whether you're a clockmaker or somebody who's been at sea all your life, you're going to have a different discernment based on your own experiences, right? And then the atmosphere is going to play a role, the humidity, all the time of day, all those kind of things. But the real nub of the point is that people need to understand how their vision works, and how that's being used as a key part of the deception. And they shouldn't for 1 minute think that all this all-seeing eye nonsense that the people come up with, it's all over the media, celebrities, they're fucking laughing at us, right? Because they've got, they know that there's secrets in there or information that's being kept from the people so that they don't see what's going on, So that's one of the things I'm just going to expose to my fullest ability.
It's like every charlatan, street magician, whatever, they're playing on your lack of awareness and understanding and vision. It's all about deception. What was the word I was looking for? It's like the guy Darren Brown. He says it all the time: showmanship, misdirection, deception. Playing on your lack of understanding and people's ignorances. And that's what the globe is. It is just pure sophism. There is absolutely no aspect of it that is scientific, that is actually measurable, tangible. There is nothing. It exists purely on paper, in people's imaginations, and on your TV screen. That is the only place it exists. It's fantasy, pure and simple.
Absolutely. And I mean, how they manage that, at least in my opinion, is that this separation of things from real substances, so like, natural substances and natural bodies. If you touch something and then you leave it again and you go back to your home and you think about what you just did, touching it, then you're feeling what's in your mind isn't hot or cold. It's not soft or hard. You don't have a 10-foot idea, or you don't have a volume idea in your brain. You don't have all these experiences. The only thing you're left with is a visual one. And that's where they can implant plant all the rest of the, stuff onto that, but it's completely different from a tangible experience with real natural substance. So don't let them separate it. Yeah, they can't separate the one and then make things up to attach to your visual perception, because that's all they're doing. Yeah.
And for me, this really kicked off with the implementation of TV. People talk about 500 years, 2,000 years of sphere Earth. Bollocks.
Right.
They knew the power of TV and image that swayed people. And for me, that's when it really kicked in. The implementation of TV, knowing they could manipulate that. And if people see it in TV, they will more than likely believe it. And that is where, their activity really ramped up. You can look at it, trace it back. It goes hand in hand with each other. Without the TV, they would have a real hard time trying to convince people that they lived on a nature-defying fucking sphere pair.
Absolutely. And when you see people, Dale, I get sometimes into people's homes and they've got an even bigger TV. It now covers the whole fucking wall, and you think to yourself, what the fuck are they doing, it's just, it's like, they even want it, right? You'll get free credit for it, to buy a bigger TV. They're really pushing it, and the people are susceptible to that because they don't know anything else, But, I just hope they find this fucking channel, and they find people here, talking the truth, or trying to find out what the truth is, and stay away from all that pish,
and that's it here. We're not going to make false claims. We're sticking purely to what everybody can observe and test for themselves. That way, we can find out who's telling lies. If I say to you, a feather's harder than a hammer, objective reality will tell you something totally different, and that's the beauty of this whole thing. So
definitely.
But again, without the imagery, and people are so image based, that they're so swayed by images that it is used, extremely well against people.
But again, they know that, right? 80% of our sensory experience, comes from seeing. We need it all the time. It is the one sense that, if everybody was to lose it tomorrow, they would have a real problem, right? Yeah. So, they know that that's the one that everybody relies on. So that's the one they have to make sure that they're controlling. Yeah.
Even if you were blind, you would still know that you can't go in and get yourself a glass of water by using the exterior of the bowl.
Exactly.
The fucking glass. Even if you are blind, you would still have the sense to know that claim is totally fucking ridiculous and retarded. So again, that's beauty in that. It's so simplistic, and people I think are scared of the simplicity of it. People I think feel as if there has to be, an extrapolated, mathematical, huge deal, when it's not. It comes right down to the simplistic things.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I'm, to deflate this mathematical balloon, because it needs to be deflated. There's nothing mystical about it. Yeah. The whole thing, is just a construct, a language, where the basically two different definitions of things are given to us, but we're only allowed to use one word for it. Yeah. So, they're confining, if you like, over the language, the way we think about these things. Yeah. You don't have, these different differentiations or discernments of it,
Sorry, so that's called. Hello?
Anybody?
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, so mathematics needs to fall as some kind of fucking new religion, It's a 17th century invention of man. That's all it is, And people need to see it for what it is,
Exactly.
And stop believing it has some basis in reality, Or that it's some proof of anything, So I've got a couple of videos lined up to hopefully make that clearer to everybody as well.
Excellent. We'll look forward to that, and we'll get them up as soon as they're completed, man. But again, we'll see if the people are really interested in the truth, if that's what they're really looking for. I just hope that people are not sitting idly and apathetically thinking they're part of some counterculture and that they're going to just be entertained and shown everything. You really need to discover it.
We need to work at it. Everybody needs to work at it for themselves and together. Absolutely.
I'm just going to be 2 seconds. I just need to nick to the toilet.
No bother, man.
In a minute, you need to be uncomfortable sitting there talking to yourself, mate. Keep the chat. Alright, are we still here? Has everybody left?
I'm still here, man.
Right.
I just sent Marshall the link as well. I think he wanted to come in and help.
Alright, I didn't even realise. I thought Marshall was still in his bed. I thought it was about 9 o'clock when I went on. What time is it? Fucking 20 past 11. So I'll just get back to, the point of this a wee bit again. How you doing, Marshall? You alright, mate?
Oh, fair to middling, dude. What's this about me laying around in bed? It's not true.
I didn't know, mate. I went on, I think, about 9 o'clock, so I didn't think anything would be about. I wasn't even expecting people to, be here at this time. I just wanted to put it up so that it was there for people to see, But these clowns think that we're going to take a step back and sit and let them have their way. They're seriously mistaken. They've got a fight in their hands.
Yeah.
Well, I'm forgetting, there's different time zones, therefore the Earth's a globe. People are saying it's morning, it's afternoon, wherever they are. Oh, well, the Earth must be a globe. It's dark somewhere and light somewhere else, therefore curvature.
Oops, it just means we can't see the light anymore. Oops, wonder what that's to do with.
Wake up, fellas, the Earth ain't flat, the Earth has dinosaur shape. I don't know if you knew, Marshall, why I fired up this morning.
No, I've missed the beginning of this though, so...
Well, what happened was exactly what I predicted would happen and hoped to happen. Validation Boy had a wee cozy up with Timmy and Laurie last night, and they're very keen to try and oust and, paint a certain picture. As I say, the truth's a threat to them. With that character Validation Boy, I mean, you remember the history of him. What was it that happened? We invited him, he came to the hangout, he was treated with respect and manners and then started taking a tantrum. Can you remember?
Yes, I can. And then went off to make a mimicking video in the hope of... drawing some more attention to himself.
Yeah, and it's the same with the Laurie Gale and the Jed. I was just minding my own business and these characters kept coming. I'm sure you remember that as well.
I remember all of it, dude. I didn't say nothing. I could see it all.
Yeah, that's it.
It's time for other people to, use their memory and discernment, mate, and say, well, what am I doing paying attention to people that are deliberately misguiding me?
Exactly. And that's the problem when new people are coming in. They miss, the last 2 years events or, a year gone by's events and these characters, and they will now selectively try and pick and cherry pick and portray things in a certain way. But, my timeline's there. Everything's there for people to see for themselves. If you want to discover who these characters are, rather than believing they're pish. And as I say, don't believe me. Don't believe me. Investigate for yourself. Look for yourself. I've got nothing to hide. These people have something to hide. And you're right. And it's time for people to let it go, and start fucking standing up to this. It's like the Stockholm Syndrome. If there's one bully in a park of 100 kids and you do not stand up, point at it and put it in its place, that bully is going to run amok. It's as simple as that. So are you prepared for that? Do you want to be, a victim of these bullies and their tactics? Or do you want to stand up now and be counted and end this fucking whole debacle of psychopathic, bully, insecure natures running the show? Because for me, I'm sick of it. I want empowered, critical people who base everything on empirical facts to be representing people if that's the way it needs to be. No emotional manipulators, hell bent on keeping people suppressed so that they can garner all the attention for themselves, and live a life of Riley while other people struggle for day to day, The last 5 generations alone, we should be living in somewhere that's like a virtual paradise, much easier life. I can take my kids to a swing park, a basic, this is what we have, and we think that we're progressing. We have like a basic swing park, a shoot, a swing, and a roundabout that has never changed in fucking 30 odd years, but we are progressing. We're stimulating the kids and giving them critical thought and, encouraging creativity. It's not happening. These fuckers need to go, and the sooner the fucking better. We have corruption running the show and it needs to end. And like Spittle, like Timmy, Validation Boy, Laurie, and all the players that are involved, they are criminal minds, helping to perpetuate that and keep it running. They get in the road of real people, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm no fucking shy about calling them that, because a spade is a spade.
Absolutely, man. As I say, if anybody wants to come and help chop down the tree, then they better make sure that they don't want a tree house.
Yeah.
Stop building their wee pies in the sky, their wee castles, their wee fucking whatever it is they think they're going to get, because the tree is coming down.
You would think, through this whole realisation, people would snap at it and start to realise what the fuck's going on, Stop pandering to them, and allowing it to happen. You don't have to allow it to happen, don't appease them. If they're wrong, they're fucking wrong, and they're getting in the way. But I continue to see it, and I go sometimes and I look at their comments and I see certain characters going, oh yeah, nice work, oh cheers, God bless this, and you're going, for fuck's sake, stop kidding on that it's not there. As I say, the agencies, the players and manipulators, they're not going to come with a badge or have it written in their t-shirt telling you that that's who they are. They're going to play a much more subtle game than that, and you need to be on your game in order to spot it.
More people are, though. More and more all the time.
But, I'm just not one of the guys that's going to sit back and allow them to operate in the background. I'm fucking tired of them now. I can proportion my attention. I can proportion it to activism, and I can proportion it to focusing on outing these clowns,
Aye, absolutely.
And again, it's not my choice really to get like that, but they keep bringing it to me, So what do you do when people are lying and misrepresenting you? You don't just sit back and accept it. You fight back.
Well, you have to tell it like it is, and then ignore them. Mm-hmm. And if they keep coming back, then keep telling it as it is, and then ignore them again, because they are irrelevant. They're just irrelevant arse lickers. So.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I feel as if it's time. I want them ridiculed. I get satisfaction out of watching them squirm, because that's what they deserve. As I say, for me, when I look at the bigger picture, it's criminal behaviour. I consider it criminal when real people who are born into this life are asking questions and want to make discoveries about who they are, why they're here, where they are, and you have these active cunts trying to stifle that and put blockers in the road of it, then for me that's a criminal act. I'm not going trying to put a blocker on their life or what they're thinking about or what they partake in, but they keep coming to me and keep coming to us. And if it was just crazy crackpot people, why have you get prominent characters that are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the last 2 years, spewing the same debunked crap over and over and over, calling it a debate, trying to drag people into emotional games? And as I say, people are asking, who are these players? Show us, name them. I can name them, but you still need to do the work and understand how they operate, or it's pointless. You're just going to get drawn into it over and over and over again.
Right. No, we need to show it for what it is, Otherwise, we'll just be tagged with name calling ourselves, which is not what we want to do, So if they keep coming back to this platform and saying that you, Dale, or the people on this platform are somehow, whatever it is they like to say, dogmatic, deluded, cultish, all this mentality, then I'm the same. I'm not going to sit down and let these people fucking say that shit anymore. So we'll just point them all out, That's the end of it.
And again, any one of these muppets are welcome to come for discussion, any one of them, right? But as Timmy proves, he's such an insecure, weak-minded fool. The only thing he has to offer is to snipe the hangout. He's not capable of any rational discussion with critical thinking people. He's only there.
He's not even capable. I don't think he's even capable of that, Dale. He'll have hired some programmers or something to, hack the API or Google Hangout, So, he's investing money in doing it because he'll not be smart enough to do it himself. So it just shows you the lengths these people go to,
And you can tell because he's like a clown with a new toy. As I say, he came in last night with a fake account. We didn't have to have a fake account. If he'd have came with his normal account, he'd have been accepted in anyway. So this just shows you he's deluded in his mind, thinking he's fucking 007. I have this privy access to snipe a hangout, and I'm going to come in with a fake account and act as if I fooled them. What a fucking delusional, derpy clown.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just childish,
Right.
I'm sure if his mother knew, she'd slap him.
She's probably
should be a shame. Yeah.
That's probably what's up with him. He's probably grew up in some orphanage or military base or some fucking thing. Had his bollocks looped off, Who knows? It seems like that to me. That's the kind of character he is. Ballless, spineless, soulless, lack of intelligence, lack of awareness, lack of understanding. Just an empty, robotic fucking shell. You know what I mean?
I think that fairly sums it up. I'd add lack of integrity to that as well.
I'm passionate about belittling the clown because that's where it is. And it's just an it because he's faceless. He's just an it with a smarmy, arrogant, smug, little deluded voice. And I hope to fuck he's listening. I would love him to come here and face to face. I would love to meet him face to face, and watch him squirm, take great satisfaction in it. Because at the end of the day, people, as I say, there is an enemy here. And if they want to come to me and bring war and keep coming to me with it, then fuck them. I'll step up to the plate. Somebody wants to bring me war and they're going to get it both barrels. Fuck them. Anyway.
Right, absolutely, man.
So, What's going on in chat, Marshall? Have you seen? Is any of them about?
No, it was rather quiet this morning, dude. It sort of infers that a lot of that interference we were having last night is US based.
Yeah. So once he came in and sniped to hang out, you were having trouble with your comms as well, were you not?
Yes, I had extensive problems with all the tech at my end last night. And when the hangout got sniped, we got flooded with trolls, and I could just sit there and watch. It was moving too fast to do anything about. So it was coordinated. Whatever happened was coordinated.
Why am I seeing a repetition in the chat? Hey Dale, where is your proof for a soul? What the fuck are you talking about, James Sampson? What are you fucking talking about? Where is your proof for a soul? Who claimed there was a soul? I'm answering you, James. Stop typing the same repetitive crap. Explain what you mean. Hey Dale, where is your proof for a soul? What are you talking about, son?
Right, come on, James.
Hurry up, James Sampson. Type it in. What are you going on about?
Why doesn't he come in and talk with real people?
Because this is all they have. This is the usual shit. It's probably one of these clowns in a fake account.
So sad, isn't it?
Yeah, uppercut. I don't know about the rest of you, but I find it encouraging to see many people waking up. It's like discovering electricity. Exciting times ahead, folks. It certainly is. It is exciting. You said Timmy didn't have a soul. No, I know. I meant that as in, any kind of real emotion or, passion or anything real about him. He's a soulless motherfucker, And I can say that, I've said it about musicians, technical musicians are great, they can play fast, they can blah, 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 but they're lacking soul, they're lacking feeling, passion, so that's what I mean. I don't mean literally a soul like a fucking ghost that leaves the fucking body. I mean, there's no claims being made like that here. Jazzaconda, this is another one of these accounts I'm sure that spews crap in the fucking comments. Again, the platform's open to these people. Why don't you come in and have a discussion on a Saturday or any time that we go live? Why do you leave it to the comments? It's pointless. If you really had something to say and you thought it was feasible and worthwhile, then you would say it.
Right, grow a spine and come on.
The chat's not documented. The chat's not going to be seen by people viewing it. They'll see it when you upload the video. But Timmy's obviously under some rock along with Validation Boy, Laurie, Jed, and the rest of them. I say as time goes on, I'm going to start pointing at a lot of them. Every time they partake in their nonsense and their tit for tat with each other about maps and models and making it irrelevant subjects, distracting people, trying to divide people, I'm going to jump on it every fucking time. And I'm sure everybody here who's part of this platform will do the same.
Oh, I'll devote some time every day just to make a wee schedule in between the research and inquiry, just to go to these sites and tell them what I think of them, right?
Yeah. Jazzaconda, when are you on next? We'll probably be Saturday, but we're here right now, Jazzaconda, and I know that you're an account who spews waffle in the fucking comments. So let's go, let's come in and prove to us that it's a nature-defying sphere pair. Show us your religious crackpottery for everybody. Let's have you, sir. This is no cult circle jerk. We are open to anybody. We invite everybody. We can get Dawkins or fucking DeGrasse Tyson or Coxless, whoever you fucking like. We're not going to shy away from anybody.
Oh, bring it on.
Jazzaconda saying send me the link. Let's have Jazzaconda on. Jazzaconda, you need to send an email to what's it called?
There'll be nocurve@gmx.com.
Let's have a globe disciple in here spewing his illogical waffle. I cannot wait. Did you get that, Jazzaconda? Do you know where you need to send your mail to?
Oh, he knows that all right. He's been watching the chat for a long time, so
yeah.
It's just delaying the inevitable.
A message for that other walloper who's part of the same group's reverse course. This is a clown who for the first year was in the channel's support and great logic, it's unbreakable, blah, blah, and then reverses course and starts drawing, crayon drawings on his curb on the pavement outside of his home as scientific proof that he lives in a sphere pair. I mean, another deluded moron.
Absolutely. They give it away with their YouTube handles. I don't know whether they're messaging to each other, but even to take the reverse course and then do it, it's just so fucking blatantly stupid.
Nathan Oakley now, Morning Dale, please can you spell out your issue with maps, models? I like to understand your concern. Well, I don't know how many times I have to say it, Nathan. It's very well that people want to think, are working in maps and models. But my question and my concern is, how are you going to falsify or verify the full dimensions of where we are without exploration? So I don't know why it's so hard to see the concerns. And the fact that it detracts and causes argumentation because it's based on ideas, it's based on no known. We don't know what the sun, the moon, the stars are. People are trying to work that out. What's the fucking point? That's my concern. I hope that's clear. If anybody has any rebuttal to that, be my guest. Hello, Nathan Oakley, I'm not listening, just pulled chat out to read. Whatever. Fucking ass wipes. Who is Timothy? Timothy is a Lick Spittle. Lick Spittle is somebody who's subservient to authority, who asks Lick's government and official narratives. He's an insecure sophist who comes into hangouts and shuts them down when people are talking about real truth. And last night, I was mentioning names, and because they are part of the same organised groups, they had a real issue with it.
Right, and they're pretending that it's a chivalrous act that we're doing to defend the women.
Yeah.
What a lot of pish.
Yeah. And it's simple, it's back to what Nathan was saying about my problem with the maps and models. We need to be sticking to purely factual stuff here and no wandering into speculation, because it causes division and arguments with people. For fuck's sake, everyone is can go out and say Mount Everest is really there. Then people are going to debate about how Mount Everest came to be and how the Earth came to be. But never mind all that. We're observing what actually is. That's what's important.
Yep, natural science it's called.
Yeah, maps, again, with full exploration and full, everybody involved in the mapping process. What are you going off of? You're going off of data that is presented to you, right? You're not out there actually mapping to see if it's really true. You can run the whole world. You need a load of people for that. Lots and lots and lots of people, right? You go in a tin can, the door shuts, it goes up in the air. You don't have a fucking clue where you're going. I asked people before. I put a video up, but it was ignored. If you're going on a plane, take a compass, a pen and a piece of paper. Note down the direction you're going for how long, and then note down where it changed and how long it went in that direction, and then we would start getting a better picture of where these flights are actually going. Right? But nobody pushes that either. Seems to be just keeping people in speculation rather than any true activism.
See, Jazzaconda still asking for the link to be sent. I'm assuming you sent it.
How would we map the Earth? By full exploration. You need the militaries involved, for fuck's sake. I mean, come on. And this is the point. If we don't have that, where are we going to go? Nowhere. Running circles.
Right, on a mathematically finite ball. Yeah.
Right. I don't know if peeps in chat are sending for links. All right. But I'm not receiving any mail. All right. So Jazzaconda, nocurve@gmx.com. Fire it in, mate, and you got the link.
Aye. Don't keep giving us excuses. The link's there. It works every other time. So you've had it, So let's see if you walk your talk.
There are a couple of other people asking. Adam Eves would like to come in. He's been asking for weeks, though. Again, I'm getting no mail back. So we'll wait and see on that. If somebody can write in chat whether they are sending, and I can verify whether I'm receiving.
Nathan, I spoke out against people making claims with no evidence. That's fine. That's what we're trying to stick to. Yeah.
We're back in a minute, man.
No probs. To say these links are sent, it's free and open to anybody who wants to come in. So, their excuses are just not valid. This platform has been like that since I launched the live events, opening it up to anybody and everybody. We had to control it a wee bit from the beginning. Before we were just posting it straight into the live chat, but you have insecure controlling derpy morons like Timothy Osmond who would come in and shut it down and cause disruption because they're not capable of rational discussion with real intelligent people. They're controlling sophists, and when they know that their sophism is exposed, they have no other option. Why can't everyone just get on? Because, that's the point. Not everybody's going to like everybody. Everybody would go on if people stuck to what was important, which is the objective truth. And again, I'm going to repeat it. It does not require, your history, your personality, your wishes, your confirmation bias, your religion. It doesn't require any of that, It's what is measurable, testable and repeatable. Purely and simple, All emotion should be removed from it. It doesn't require any emotion. If emotion's involved in it, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. Super Schemo, I had the link yesterday. It works. Yep, the link does work, but people will like to claim that it doesn't because they obviously have no spine and they talk shit. When it comes to the crunch, they don't show face. The usual.
Jazz, excuse me, though. Jazz has been sent the link now.
Okay. Dale must be getting them worried to entice such trolls in the convo. Yeah, they always have been worried. That's why they had a problem. They call it no stancery and they think it's a cop-out when really that's a situation. And if I give you an example, You know, if you take us to be born into captivity, it's like a lion being born into a zoo, and then discovering that the enclosure that it's being kept in is, you know, as an enclosure and there's more to it. And then the gatekeeper coming along and saying, well, you must be able to tell me what's beyond the enclosure. You must be able to tell me what is the full dimensions. That is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Nonsensical idiocy. None of us are clairvoyant fucking psychics, right? All this new age spiritual crap, right? We need physical exploration in order to establish what the full dimensions are. Still no show. So,
well, I think there is some sort of delay on the mail relay at the moment. This isn't as bad as what was happening last night. But Jazz says he's got the link, and he'll be in. I've got Neil Glover also who wants to come in and have a chat. Again, he's asked before and not had the opportunity. So we'll wait on for a sec for Jazz, and then maybe Neil can drop in afterwards. Yeah.
Cool hard logic knows it's flat, so he is a disinfo agent. Why defend anyone like him? It's like you defended Alex Jones. Same. Why do that? I don't understand. Anybody who's defending the nature-defying sphere pair, you know, as a sophist, you know, they're pushing an agenda, you know, and it is probably willingly, because any rational mind who actually starts to look at it realizes the glaringly obvious flaws, lack of curvature, lack of any kind of physical proof. So cool hard logic, you know, I've done a video about him before, and he was just an illogical fucking moron, the same as the rest of them. You know, misrepresenting people, putting up a straw man to attack, generalising, you know, all the classics, just a fucking waste of space. But people make these people relevant as if they've got some sort of stature and importance, when really they're fucking morons. Total morons.
And maybe just one thing, you know, I often hear people, you know, maybe asking, you know, why is a map not an important thing to do? Yeah. Or what's the problem with a map? So from my perspective, any measurement that you make, right? Any measurement that you define in mathematics, and it's a definition you make that suits the intended purpose of a measurement, that definition of the measurement depends on the geometry that you assume, right? So, you know, when people say we've mapped the world already, then the question that needs to be asked is, what were the definitions of measurement and which geometry are they assuming? Because if you don't do that, then you don't have really any clue what it was you measured and what your assumptions and your notions were. So that's the reason at the moment there's no point in making maps and models if people don't understand what the fuck they're measuring. Yeah.
So
that's just, you know, from a mathematical standpoint, why I would not want to measure anything at the moment unless I knew what was the. Don't fucking measure anything that you haven't defined yourself. You know, everybody's heard of the don't believe a statistic that you haven't falsified yourself. And definition's the same thing. Everybody should go and look at, you know, websites on metrology, which is the new science around measurement. Yeah, but it's just mathematics in disguise. Huh? So anyway, just wanted to say that.
Cool. Jazzaconda, you need to click your mic. You're muted. There should be a wee symbol that looks like a mic with a line going through it. You have to click that. I don't know why I don't get the option in here. It says muted and I don't have the option to unmute, so it must be at their end.
He made a noise a minute ago, so.
Yeah. Oh,
sorry, are you talking to me, mate?
You're live, Jazz.
We can hear you.
Oh, g'day, how's things?
Good.
How you doing? Good.
You know, I was just started out the chat conversation earlier, just with the fact that orbital mechanics would be a perfect and brilliant way to, you know, because all you guys say that the space shuttle with SpaceX goes up and it starts a slanted trajectory to the east, and then you say it seems to level off at 80,000 feet.
Who said that?
Or thereabouts. That's what I've watched. I've watched a lot of flat Earth videos. I was here on.
Please don't generalize. Please don't generalize. You're dealing with us directly. We are not other people. So if other people make claims, go and deal with them about other claims. Stick to what we claim.
Okay. So basically, what a generalization over the whole aspect of flat Earth would be orbital mechanics is on the basis of getting an object from Earth into orbit around a sphere or a globe. If you can disprove that, then you prove that space is fake, satellites fake, we never went to the moon, we never did anything.
No, you need to first prove your globe. You need to first prove your globe, you know, and prove that people are actually going to speak. Where's your proof?
It's how have you disproved it? Just saying that space doesn't exist, saying that satellites don't exist, saying that you've not proved anything. This is what I'm saying. If you can prove, you can disprove orbital mechanics.
If you make a claim to me, the burden of proof is on you. If people are claiming to me that they're going onto the vacuum of space beyond our pressurised environment, then it's up to them to provide proof of that claim. I have seen zero proof of that claim. So firstly, prove that you can go to space, that space is actually a vacuum, and also prove that the Earth is a globe.
You're just contradicting what you're just saying, though, because
well, fine, by your logic, pink unicorns are real. I have images of it. Therefore, the burden of proof is on you to prove to me that pink unicorns are not real. Go for it. Prove to me pink unicorns are not real.
No. Well, you're just saying, you've just said that all of that is fake.
All of what is fake?
All of the pink unicorns, satellites.
You're the one. No, you're the one that's coming making the claims. What have I said that is fake?
That the space station's not out there, that satellites aren't out there, that we never went to the moon, that space is fake. You've just come and said that.
Are you claiming that?
You haven't proved it.
Are you claiming?
They're the pink unicorns that you just said. You have not proved that.
Listen, man. Are you claiming that the institutions, the space institutions, and what they show us is actually real and true? Are you claiming that?
That's not what the question was.
What was the question?
Well, let's go back to your pink unicorns philosophy.
No. Let's.
You just told me that I claim that pink unicorns. You're calling what I say space is real, satellites are real, and all that. You're calling that pink unicorns. When you're saying they don't exist, that's your pink unicorns. They existed before you started saying this, so it's up to you to prove it.
No.
99% of the world thinks this is true, so it's your big job to change their mind.
Logical fallacy, appealing to numbers. Don't act stupid. It is a logical, basic understanding, basic logical fallacy of appealing to numbers. I do not care if 6 million people believe something to be true. It doesn't make it true. If you are certain that something is true and that is the real events that are happening, the burden of proof is on you. I have seen nothing of actual proof. Sorry, Gavin.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right. I'm just going to say, to put the, into context, you're basically saying you got a pink unicorn, and please explain the orbital mechanics of a pink unicorn. And we're denying that a pink unicorn exists. So you can't come with that argument. You're the one that's saying the Earth is a ball, and we have no proof of that. So you need to bring that proof first before we talk about orbital mechanics of a fictionary ball. You can't turn the question around, man. Yeah.
well, that's exactly what you just did, because that's
what you're doing.
No, the pink unicorn that you're saying that I'm talking about, the orbital mechanics and physics of it actually happening are fact. You've got to prove that my pink unicorn is different to your pink unicorn.
Sorry, man, you're going to have to go away and think about that again. You can't come here presuming something that we deny and then asking us to prove it. That is a logical fallacy.
You're the
one that comes with a presumption that you live in a ball. I don't presume that. So why are you asking me to prove something that I don't fucking believe in?
Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's use this example. The Rolling Stones had a free concert in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil a few years ago with 1 million people there. You're going to go there, jump up on stage, push Mick Jagger out of the way, the whole band, shove them all off stage, and say they're full of shit.
What a terrible example.
Because you reckon you're a better singer than Mick Jagger, which you probably are, because he's shit.
You've just descended into absolute lunacy here. I mean, what the fuck?
No, you have.
What are you talking about? No, have you
dragged this?
Show me your trip to space, my man.
The what?
Show me your trip to space. Did you go to space? Did you go up in a rocket? Did you leave the Earth's atmosphere and go into the vacuum of space? Have you actually done that?
No, I haven't.
So what are you talking about?
Well, one, I have no reason to disbelieve them. And number one, because you guys haven't proved them wrong. You've just claimed they're wrong.
They're the one asserting a claim. It's up to them to provide proof. Now, if I'm unsatisfied by what they call proof and they don't actually provide any measurable proof, and all they offer me is an image, then that is not my problem. It's the exact same as me saying, why will you not believe in pink unicorns when I can show you picture after picture after picture of pink unicorns? It's a totally ridiculous, lunatic talk, right? If you assert something to be true, the burden of proof is on you, my man. That is how it works, right? If I claim that unicorns exist in outer space, the burden of proof is on me. So, have you provided any actual proof, measurable proof that the Earth is indeed a sphere from your first premise? Can you show us some proof that it's a sphere, please?
Well, no, I can't show you, but can you show me that it's flat?
I can tell you for a fact that if we agree the place is 80% covered in water, I can prove to you for a fact that bodies of water upon Earth do not conform to the exterior of shapes. If you have a slope, a lower inclination from one to the other, a body of water will flow. The very fact that what we observe and test 100% of the time in reality shows us that bodies of water upon Earth do not behave the way that it's claimed. That is actual, measurable, scientific fact of reality.
It is.
So,
it is.
right?
Yep.
So
where's the problem then?
Okay, I'll give you this thing to do.
It's because you did some fluid mechanics and pretended to model something on the basis of spinning water around a ball in the 17th century. Is that what you believe, rather than the water around about you?
Well, okay. Here's something you can do. You can do tomorrow. It might cost you, I don't know, the exchange rate might cost you 60, 80, 100 pounds. You can go out to your local airport, hire a wee Cessna 172. Don't tell the pilot what you're doing. Sit in the back with a water bottle that you can squeeze to get the water out. Ask him to fly a parabola.
Right.
And we've heard the vomit comet, yeah.
Is the Earth an aeroplane flying a parabola?
Is the space station an aeroplane flying in an outside loop?
Why are you using sophist tactics here again?
Yep.
You know,
Right, I've just muted Jazz because I'm a little bit tired of him interjecting every time somebody speaks. Again, it's a shallow conversational ruse. Jazz, the protocol here is we allow people to speak in their entirety and then we respond. If you can't do that, mate, you've got no business being here, okay? You'll have to unmute yourself. I can't do it from my end.
Right. So again, and while he's muted before he starts interrupting, the Earth is not an aeroplane in a parabolic fucking manoeuvre, okay? The Earth is a fucking vast plane with rock, atmosphere, bodies of water at rest, no moving anywhere, right? So when he's trying to represent his claims, he's using a sophist tactic where he's not representing the actual claim. He's trying to implant an image. It's confirmation bias. It's trying to devise some sort of argument to implant an image in people. It's not an observation of the actual physics of the reality we're living in its natural form, right? The ocean is not jumping on board a fucking small puddle hopper plane and flying up into the air, right? It's at rest upon the Earth where it should be. So when you're trying to represent your claims, represent them accurately, no by employing sophism and trying to twist it.
Yeah, and just Google the equivalence principle to see, how physics and mathematics have just tried to confuse that issue for you. If you really are genuine, then go and study that.
Can I talk now? I've been unmute for the last minute and let you guys talk. That's great. I hope the same protocol applies now. I don't know whether you noticed this, but every flat Earth video that shows, the old P900 and the boat at the horizon and it disappears and then you zoom the P900 in. Why is it that the buildings in the background, you can't see the power lines, you can't see the roads, you can't see the trees, you can't see the people, you can't see the cars? Why is that?
Because even at
distance of the don't say perspective. Don't say it.
Are you the only one that thinks you understand what perspective means, Daz? Is that your real name?
Yeah, I do understand it very well.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm not going to use.
Would you like to have a discussion about it?
We're not going to get into mathematics here. We're just average people, just like Del does on the streets. Those people that he does and has the globe and do airplanes fly upside down in the southern hemisphere. Well, in reference to the northern hemisphere, yes, they do. And I can tell you how, if you like.
Will we answer your first question?
We're still waiting.
Go ahead.
Well, if you look at a building of bricks from a long, long distance away, all you're going to see is a red wall and you won't see the brick. If you got them up closer to you, you will see the brick. So it depends on the intervals between things, the angles between the intervals of what you can discern and what you can't discern. We can dive deeper into perspective. We can bring diagrams to the table. We can show people, and we will be doing that, by the way. So,
Please do that, because that's a terrible example.
Oh, I don't think it is, man.
It is. Bricks. You're not looking at bricks when you're looking at a structure. You're looking at the structure as a whole
itself. You're looking at the intervals. Yes, you're looking at the intervals between things.
Nothing to do with it.
No. Well, in that case, you don't understand anything about perspective, pal.
Well, now we're going into architecture and structural and civil engineering. It's got nothing to do with it.
It's got nothing to do with it, no.
It doesn't, unless you're building a bridge over 14 miles, then it does, yeah. Sorry, Dale, go ahead.
No, I'm still waiting for you to provide proof of this sphere. So far, you're you're starting the usual sophism, viewing things over a body of water. When we know that the body of water that we're viewing things over must be parallel and level.
How do you know? How do you know?
That's how water behaves, through testing, repeating 100% of the time, that a body of water does not conform to the exterior of a shape. If you are at one point and there's a declination, a lowering from where you are to the other point, and there's a body of water there, it will flow. That's how drainage works. That's how water behaves upon Earth. So, at the same time, if you're going to say, oh, look at that, the skyline, things are smaller, more condensed, wider than they actually are, and you're going to invoke curvature, that's what you're seeing over that body of water at whatever distance, then the distance surely the same from left to right should be displaying curvature, but it doesn't. The buildings are straight up 90-degree angles to the earth that they're upon. There's no leaning, there is no fanning out of a skyline from one end to the other, which would have to be if we lived on a sphere. And you were saying that everything was at a 90-degree angle to the centre of the earth. If I'm looking at a skyline that's 40 miles long, the one building this side and one building that side should be fanned out from each other. That's not reality. So there is an observation problem with perspective and understanding. People like us want to work on it and try and come to an understanding it. People like you want to claim to know what it is. You've still not provided any measurable curvature for saying that the earth is a sphere. Are you going to provide some of that?
Well, this is where it gets funny. It's because you guys, all the proof of Earth, of the globe, of the sphere, and we won't even talk about it. The way you guys get around it is you just say it's all fake. That's what you do.
Sorry, say that again.
That's what you do.
What do we do? Sorry, I missed that.
Every proof of Earth as a sphere, as a globe, which it is, space is the best one because you can see the thing. You just say it's fake. And you're laughing. You're laughing like you haven't proven space fake. You haven't proven they got to the moon. And that's why I said orbital mechanics. Prove orbital mechanics is wrong and you'll have a point.
Nobody has proved the ball first.
Nobody has provided proof that it is actually a ball. Nobody has provided proof that they have actually went into outer space. There is fucking zero proof for that. So if you're asserting something to be true, the burden is on you. Provide us with some tangible proof that these things are actually true.
I'm not going to prove that orbital mechanics is wrong because I know it's right.
How do you know?
I believe.
You believe that's fine.
Because I can build a rocket tomorrow and orbit the Earth.
Go for it.
I don't have the money.
Well, until you've done that, you're talking shit. Until you have done that, you are talking nonsense.
No, you guys, that is your key. You want 99% of the Earth to believe the Earth's flat. You disprove orbital mechanics and you'll disprove the globe Earth.
I can build a time machine tomorrow, but I'm not going to bother my arse. But the fact that I'm saying that I can build my time machine tomorrow
and you can't.
Dimensions makes it true in your logic, even though I don't provide proof.
You can't do that because you don't know how to travel through time. I understand orbital mechanics, and if I had the money, I could send a rocket around the Earth, send a satellite up.
So you've not verified or falsified the claims that you're making, so you're basing it all purely on...
Neither have you.
Well, what do you mean? I'm not claiming that you can go to space. I'm not claiming...
I know you're not. You're claiming that space is fake.
Well, if somebody is telling me that there's a vacuum around a sphere with a pressurised gaseous atmosphere and that atmosphere dissipates slowly but surely as layers of gas into this vacuum of space, then I cannot recreate that or observe it on any scale whatsoever, you expect me to believe that to be true. That is an extraordinary claim that goes against all observable reality. The burden of proof is on you, my man.
Do you know what happens to pressure on the surface of the Earth? No, you don't.
Address what I just said.
It goes down by 2 hectopascals per 1,000 feet.
I take it you're going to show me a practical example about everything.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you.
No, well, that's not good enough. I can tell you pink unicorns are real. I am God, therefore I am right, and I've said so I'm right. It's illogical fucking nonsense, man. Come on.
No, I haven't seen shows. I've done exams.
Exams?
Well, they must be fake too, are they?
What exams? You went to school? Is that what you're talking about? You've done exams and you've seen things in paper?
No, to become a pilot.
To become a pilot?
Yeah. You guys don't know how old Bob from Globebusters claims to be a pilot but doesn't know how gyroscopes work. How the hell does that work?
I'm not interested in Bob or anybody else, mate. Stop. You're illogical. You really are displaying yourself to be totally illogical. You started off with generalisations. Now you're trying to drag other people's names into it. And I'm not interested in that. You're here dealing directly with us. Stick to us.
All right, let's go. How I've watched your videos. I've watched every flat Earth video. You've proved nothing. You've claimed that everything doesn't exist in some way to prove that the flat Earth exists. Smile all you like, buddy.
You're talking
Hey, but why do you keep bringing things up that we don't say, man? Why are you associating us with hundreds of flat Earth videos that we didn't make? So
What
stop
have I
that, please.
said that you haven't
Say
said?
what we said. Talk about what we said, not about what other people said.
Exactly. Stick to the claims that are made here and let's have a discussion on that. I'm not interested in whoever else and whoever else's video or Bob or anybody else. You know, you're here dealing with me, right? And Gav and Marshall. So stick to that and stick to our claims. Let's address any claims that we have made.
Okay, and that's perfectly fine. I've watched so many videos. It was just the flat Earth is a whole generalisation. Obviously, that's wrong in your point of view.
It is wrong. Yep. So start again.
Yeah, I'm very sorry about that.
Cool. At least you're big enough to admit that.
So when you were doing your street interviews, which I found quite interesting actually, were you just purely randomly targeting? Or not targeting, but randomly asking
what, sorry?
Randomly asking people off the street outside the university what they thought.
Of course. Well, what do you think I was doing? Paying actors to come onto the street?
Not at all. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. So, I just thought it was interesting, though, just the way you conducted the interviews, and you did the old globe thing with the airplane on the side and on the bottom, and you said, have you ever seen an airplane fly like that? Of course no one's never seen an airplane fly like that.
But astronauts must see it. Astronauts must see it.
No, they're looking down at the Earth all the time.
Oh, but not the ones on the moon, right? Not the ones on the moon. They must have been able to see aeroplanes flying in all directions.
They were too far away.
Excuse me. You know, we can look at the moon and zoom in on it from here, you know, and see craters, and we can see things happening on the moon. But all of a sudden, when you're on the moon and the Earth's bigger, it's too far away. I mean, that's a total contradiction. That's nonsense.
No, not really. When you're looking at the Earth in complete daylight, you're not going to see not much. You're going to see the Earth, but a tiny little 747 flying over the Atlantic, you're not going to pick out unless you got X-ray.
But apparently we have to believe that we can witness the ISS, which is about the same size as an airliner, from the 240 miles, and we can see that on Earth. But from up there, they kind of see airliners and stuff taking off from there. I mean, you can't have it both ways, my man.
No, well, that's a good point you make, Dale, about the space station, is that it is width-wise the same wingspan as the 747, but area-wise, the total area of the space station is about the same width as a rugby field or a football field. And something that high in space, it's got those huge solar panels on it. That thing is going to show up in sunlight.
So with an aeroplane, so an aeroplane's coming up towards you closer. There's tankers on the ocean. Why not show us a tanker, you know, on the upward stroke of the ball, going from the southern to the northern, or just on the southern hemisphere, hanging upside down on the ocean? I mean, surely a tanker has got more area than the ISS. We can pick and choose all we like. You know, I could come up with endless amounts of things, you know, but you can't have it both ways. If you're claiming that you can see that from here, then you should be able to see the same things from up there.
Well,
but again,
you can actually see that. Sorry, I was just going to say you can actually see the ISS in broad daylight.
Cool.
If you know where to look in the sky at the right time, because it's going 28,000 kilometers an hour.
So they can see aeroplanes.
You've got to be on the money.
So they can see aeroplanes upside down then too, right?
No, because they're in the same reference to Earth as the point that they're flying over. So.
What about satellite? Satellites. What about, you know, Hubble? Why not get Hubble to turn around and stay vertical, you know, pointing up to the north, but view something that's in the southern hemisphere? Why not have that?
But
yeah, why can't turn that and show us the upside down aeroplanes, and then we can all rest easy?
If you're claiming that, you know, you've got a satellite that's taking images from 1,000,000 miles away, you know, look at the moon and the Earth, you know, we'll bring it a bit closer then and fucking start zooming in on the Earth, please.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and please don't be offended when I say this, but why should NASA do that just to keep you guys happy?
Well, because NASA have offered nothing. NASA have offered nothing but cartoons, and people like me are disgruntled and unsatisfied by what they're trying to show me. Now, if it was me, these things would be intriguing to me. These are the things I would partake in, you know? So if you want to convince people, if it's really true, then make it so. Show it. Convince people that it's true. What you're showing me right now is not convincing. And that's not my fault. If somebody makes a claim to me and they come along and they offer nothing in the way of actual verifiable or falsifiable proof, then that's not my problem that I don't believe in that. That's their problem.
Yeah,
if they want me to believe it, then it's up to them to provide satisfying proof.
Oh, I understand that, absolutely. But why, and you guys kind of use that as a proof of the flatness, that because they're not doing it, that's the key.
No, we're looking at water that doesn't curve. We can't find it anywhere. And that is a contradiction to the claims that are being made by other people.
Again,
so, you need to get past that first hurdle, man.
Yeah. And again,
no, but water does curve. You can curve the water out of the end of your tap with a magnet.
Is the earth a tap and a magnet sitting next to it?
No, it's
the large
not.
Bodies of water conform to the exterior of shapes. Come on, man, you're going to have to do better than that.
I don't think I can, because
that's good to admit that you can't, and that's fine to say you don't know.
Yeah.
But by me saying that,
the reason you can't show it is
by me saying that. Sorry, go ahead, Dale.
I'm just saying the reason you can't show us that is because it's not reality. If it was reality, you would be able to show it, but it's not reality. So it's like sophism. It's like looking for confirmation bias. Looking at examples that don't accurately represent the claim that you're trying to make. That is sophism, mate. Right? Now, it's not my problem if you don't understand that. I understand it, and I know that's what you're doing. So you can continue, or you can get real, and come to the realisation the same as we had to do, that's just not reality. Do you think I entertained that? I looked at meniscus. I looked at how water sits when you fill a glass right to the top. I looked at how a droplet behaves. I looked at how a droplet behaves when you put it onto a flat surface. I've looked at all these things, right, and considered them, even your vomit comet. But when it comes right down to it, you have to identify what actually represents the claim that is being made, and none of these things represent the claim that is being made. Water has behaviour in many aspects, right? But when it collects together in a vast body, it has a definite physical behaviour to it. One of which is that it does not display convexity and that it will not conform to the exterior of a shape. It's like trying to say to me that if I have a huge lake of water, if I take an object of any shape and submerge it into that water, I will then see a silhouette of the shape on the top of the water. Absolutely preposterous. Nonsense. That's not reality.
In saying that, you can take any amount of water, well, not any amount, but a substantial amount, say a couple of litres of water, a couple of kgs, in 0G, what shape does it form?
Excuse me. How would you describe where we actually live right now? Is it 0G?
No, it's not.
Right, so why again are you misrepresenting the actual claim? We do not live in 0G. We do not live in a vomit comet. We do not live in the vacuum of space. We live here on Earth with air and pressure. So why not show us it acting the way you're trying to claim it does in that environment?
Yeah, I mean, you're speaking
because
to
it's
people
the
who...
easiest way. Sorry, go ahead.
So I was just going to say, you're speaking to people who have been able to blow bubbles since about 6 weeks old, but that is not an accurate representation of large bodies of water conforming to a sphere, right? So, it's not the right argument you're bringing, man. You're equating two things that are not the same.
Well, no, it is, because just above 60,000 feet, well, take this for example, 60,000 feet at the equator is the top of the stratosphere. The top of the stratosphere in Antarctica and in the Antarctic is 20,000 feet, right? And that's the squashed egg scenario. And this is true. This is factual. There's nothing to deny that. So why... roll your head and shake your eyes. Why would that be around the ring of the South Pole and the centre of the flat Earth? And another question: why are there only auroras, southern lights, in the South Pole and North Pole?
Let's establish your first thing, okay? Let's deal with that first, okay? You continue to try and contrive conditions for how water behaves. We're asking you accurately represent it. So, with the pressure, with the air on Earth, where can we observe water behaving the way you claim it does?
Where?
Yeah, where? On Earth, where we all live, where we can all observe it and measure it, test it.
You can dive, and this gets the whole thing of density being gravity. You can dive deeper at the equator than you can in Antarctica.
Yeah.
What? There's other people in the chat that are asking to join. I've sent some links out. Jazz, mate, go away, think about it for a minute, okay? You're not convincing everybody.
I'm thinking about it. Let them join. I just came up with that theory theory because
Yeah,
It's a non sequitur. It's a non sequitur to the question that was asked.
I don't want to be, degrading or abrupt with you, man, but you're coming with sophist nonsense. You're looking for confirmation bias. You're trying to, come up
no,
with
I'm
image. You know that we're just people the same as you. We share the same objective reality. This is where we live. This is where we dwell. How do things behave here in this natural environment, whatever nature or natural really is? But how does it behave here? That's the point, right?
And that's what I'm trying to learn, right, mate? I'm just telling you my observations, different point of view, but if other people want to come in, bring them in. I'm not going to interject over anyone.
We've heard this, these points of view, and we've established, they're not accurate representations. They are sophist arguments, right? The claim is a globular rock with vast oceans clinging to it, with between the ocean and the vacuum of space, we have air and pressure, right? So can you accurately represent it and show how that is possible?
No, I can't unless I say everything's fake and it's the flat earth, but I want to learn.
No, you can't show it. Therefore, it doesn't come into the realm of natural science. It is not scientific. It is a faith-based confirmation bias. That's what it is, right? And that's fine. If you have a faith that is true, that's fine. If you can admit that it is a faith because you know that you can't accurately show it or recreate it in any way, then it is religious faith. The same as if I go to any religious person and I ask them to show me proof of the God or whatever claims I'm making, and they can. Those people admit that it is a faith and that it is a religion, but people who try and defend the globe refuse to accept and acknowledge that it is an actual faith. Because if you can't recreate it and show it in natural science criteria, it doesn't count as scientific. It's pseudoscience.
And that's exactly what you were saying on the contrary before. But bring other people in. I'm not going to interject. I'm just keen to listen.
No problem.
Well, 3 links out. Christy, the link's been sent. Spurs is still organising whether he can actually make it. And Neil Glover, your link's out as well, dude, if you're still here.
So Jazzaconda, I take it.
Yeah, no, I'm just meeting it now, mate. Good talks.
I'm saying, I'm asking you, do you fly an aeroplane? Are you a pilot?
Helicopters.
Helicopters. And have you ever witnessed the curvature of the Earth anywhere?
In airplanes, yes, but in helicopters, I can confirm that when you take off and hover it, you don't end up in another place without doing anything to make it happen.
Well, that's really what should happen. So you have been on an aeroplane and you have witnessed curvature. Can I ask you at what altitude you were at?
32,000.
So
nearby, say 320.
So you claim that at 30, we'll say 35,000 feet, you can observe curvature of the Earth?
You can't so much out the passenger window because it's tiny, but out the front, you certainly can.
Well, that's good to know. We have a globe believer who claims that from 30 to 35,000 feet that the curvature of the Earth is observable. Therefore, it should be measurable in some way. So let's see if anybody can come forward with any of that. I personally, flying planes, never seen any curvature. I've been asking people who are going on holiday recently, everybody to take pictures, images, take a photograph. Not one person has came forward to show me any curvature. A family member who went on holiday last year to Portugal, left, I think it was 9:15. The sun had set 20 minutes previous. They flew in the air. I have the photograph there. They were in the night sky. You could see the sun, the full circle of the sun in the distance, right?
Yeah.
And the light, the area that was light. They were in the dark with the sun full view. The sun is in full view, they are in the dark. How do you explain that? And the horizon, it was absolutely flat and parallel. So, are they lying?
The airplane was in full view and it was dark under them.
The sun was in full view and they were in the night sky. How do you explain that?
You're in the shadow.
Shadow of what? The sun's in full view. There's nothing between you and the sun.
Well, it depends on what angle. Was the sun close to the horizon or not?
Of course. It's in the distance, but you can still see the full circle of the sun. Tiny.
Yeah, that's the sun's umbra, or whatever you call it. It like a light, like a lampshade.
Yeah, because that's what it is to me. It is like something. If I could go to, and I'm going to do this, maybe soon. I'm going to get a light, and I'm going to go to a race course, which is, a large area park, and I'm going to show, and I'm going to mark out an area and show how it can still be dark in one portion and lit in another portion, which is exactly what real people going on real journeys are witnessing, taking photographs and sharing with me. So if I can see the light source full view and I'm being told that it's coming from 93 million miles away, what I want to know is if that light source is in full view to me, why is the portion of the sky that I'm then occupying still in darkness?
Yeah, that's a great experiment.
That's it.
Are you going to have the planets and Earth and stuff in scale, or just grab basketballs and baseballs and?
Well, you're suggesting to me that there's solid sphere terra firma up there.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying to do it scientifically, to have things in scale. But if you don't really need to,
I don't know what the luminaries are. I don't think anybody does. I've yet to see any proof provided for anybody who knows exactly what the luminaries, what the sky actually is. Do you know?
Sorry, was Vortex talking then?
No, I'm just asking you if you know. Why would I? How can I model something that we don't even know what it is? What are we modeling? I can start from a basic model. Here's a challenge that I've put out many times before. Right? Do we agree that the Earth is comprised of certain elements? Rock, earth, water, air. We all agree in these things.
I've got to say, and I think we've had some good discussions this evening. I do personally.
Okay, so if we were to have a little challenge, I challenge any globe believer, to start off with the basics. Let's start with the globular rock, the earth, and let's start with the water. Let's start off building basic models, right? I can go and take any receptacle, any container. I can put my water, my dirt. I have the air here. I have the pressure here that we actually exist in, and I can show it and represent how the oceans and the waters must be working. Can you do the same?
Yeah, you absolutely can in a stationary environment, but you can put 50 litres of water in a bucket and spin it above your head and nothing will come out.
Yeah, but that's the opposite of what you're claiming. Put the water on the outside of the bucket and then spin it around your head and let us know what happens.
Yeah, well, that's centrifugal force.
But again, you're misrepresenting the claim. The claim is that the oceans are on the exterior, the convex exterior of the sphere. So if you're trying to represent that, get your bucket and cover the outside of the bucket in the water and spin it. Not on the inside. Nobody's claiming that we live inside a bucket.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the atmosphere, which is attracted to the centre, and this is the other thing about if we could just go to gyroscopes for a second. Oh, it's a hard one.
See, can I just go back a minute? Because it's my understanding that your gravity stuff, it's a mass attracts another mass, right? So, first of all, can you represent that? Can you show us a practical example? And, air, gas being pulled by this gravity force, I thought it was, a mass of rock condensed, and when it gets to a certain size, it starts to produce gravity. What are the claims that are actually being made here? Can you show me? Get a vacuum. Is there vacuum chambers available? Can you get a globular rock, put the oceans on it, get the air run about it, and get all the gas to keep in it within your vacuum? You can drop your globular rock in the vacuum to show how all this can work. Why is nobody showing us this? Why is it not achievable?
Oh, no, they have shown that experiment many times, a hammer and a feather in a vacuum chamber.
But we don't live in a hammer or a feather.
No, they don't, but in a vacuum.
The claim is we live in a globular rock, pressurised gaseous environment with vast oceans conforming to the exterior of that. Nobody's claiming that we live on a feather or a hammer.
No, that's very true, but the feather and the hammer proves that gravity exists and that it's a constant. It could be less. It's 9.8 metres on the Earth. It's less on every other planet depending on their mass.
So they do experiments within a vacuum, and yet we don't live in a vacuum. So
we don't live in a vacuum, but that
I really don't know what relevant. What proves what? How things behave in a vacuum. We don't live in a vacuum, mate. Do we live in a vacuum?
Okay, we don't live in a vacuum. Let's say that gravity doesn't exist. Let's say that gravity doesn't exist, and it's buoyancy that does it. That's the other thing you believe, isn't it? Compensates for gravity.
I don't know. I don't know what your question is. You're putting words in my mouth and making assumptions. Can you rephrase it?
No, I'm not. I'm saying what gravity is on Earth, and you're disagreeing with it. What's your assumption of gravity?
No, but what is your definition of gravity on Earth? Sorry, can you define it and then show me a practical example?
The practical example is if you get off your chair and you jump up and you land back where you were, or you will land back where you were.
Right.
How much do you weigh? 89 kgs.
No idea. 17 stones, whatever that is.
17 stone. So you jump up, you jump down, or you don't decide to jump down, you do because of gravity.
So if you were to roll me out, till I was, paper thin, and you dropped me, as the form I am now, into a body of water or in the air, and you dropped me as the rolled out version, would I sink at the same rate? Or would I float?
If you're rolled out flat, you would float because your surface area is larger.
Because it's less dense.
No, it's more dense.
It's spread out. If I compact it, that's like saying, a layer of sand, is more dense than when I actually pick it up and compact it, or snow, a layer of snow, it's more dense when I pick it up and I compact it and I squeeze it together. Then it is more dense.
It depends on the material. If you were standing up and it's your feet on the ground, if you were peeled out flat across a tennis court, then your surface area is more dense in terms of surface area.
No, sorry, man, I think you're confused. I think you're confused there.
Oh, it's not a larger surface area. It's not more dense. It's less dense because you've thinned it out. I mean, I think you've got to see black.
In terms of you're less dense, but you're asking whether you're going to float on the surface. You've got more surface area.
Really?
So you're going to float.
You're getting it. And if I compact myself, I am more dense and I will sink.
Yeah, if you compact your, what did we say before, 80, 79 kgs, if we compact that down to a pack of cigarettes, you're going to sink.
Of course. If I flatten it out to as thin as I can get it, I'm not going to sink. Or I might sink.
How large your surface area is.
I'll sink slower. Right? So, whereas...
Jazz, I've just got one question. Is this helping you at all in any way rethink your basic arguments, your basic premises, the things that, the very root of the problem, or is this not helping you at all get over your confusion?
Well, who's that, Vortex? Well, I'm not entirely confused. I'm just wondering.
I beg to differ. I think you are very confused. You're either confused or you're deliberately, using sophist tactics because you're going round in circles trying to justify stuff that's just not real, rather than just, observing and admitting exactly what we're admitting. We're not making anything up. Feel free to, debunk anything that I'm saying. I am saying to you that liquid water here on Earth does not behave like that, does not conform to the exterior of shapes. You can't have a slope without the water flowing. These are observable by every single person alive, but you are trying to deny that. So the burden of proof is with you, I'm afraid, mate.
No, I'm not trying to disprove anything. What I'm saying is to you is that 99% of the Earth, is this wrong or fake? 99% of the Earth know and think. Well, maybe not know, but think the Earth's a globe.
They believe it's a globe.
Yeah.
They believe.
So it's they believe. That's the key. That's the key word.
That's right.
That is the key word.
Yeah.
So how is the flat Earth going to change that?
Well, I can only keep pushing the way I'm pushing. Whatever. We'll see what happens. For me in my journey, people are questioning. Legitimate, critical people are questioning and coming forward and actually asking the questions, which is all we're doing. There's nothing wrong with that. We want an open discussion and for it to come out into the open, for everybody to have a look at it fairly without being treated with ridicule and the nonsense and that science claiming that it is science when people are asking valid questions met by organised resistance, which is no science. It's a religion trying to defend itself, because if it was science, it would be out in the open and we would be actively discussing it, no ridiculing it. So that's how it will change. But listen, Jazz, I'm just going to say hello to Neil. How are you doing, Neil?
Yeah, all right, you?
Yeah, good, man. Good.
Yeah, cool.
How's things? You all right?
Yeah, just listening to you.
That's all right.
What you say's right. It's not a ball, it doesn't spin. That's it, it's simple.
Yeah. I mean, we're dealing with science and claims that are made. And as I say, I've repeated this before. I've watched this for years, especially with creationism and evolution and, these debates, the scientific method. So then when you actually apply it and turn the tables on them, they want to twist it and change it. You break claims down into their individual form and you look for practical examples. You look for actual observable, measurable, testable, repeatable proof. And if it is not there and it contradicts what is shown in reality, then it has to be disregarded. It's not true. It's religious, and that's as simple as it is.
We can't argue with that.
No.
Can't.
No.
And they try, like you say, with all the pseudoscience, trying to warp your mind and making mathematical equations to fit an agenda. What they want, and does my head in.
Yeah.
The lies. I'm like you. The lies is just.
Even if we refrain from saying that they're liars or whatever, what we're asking for is civil discussion, and for an open and honest look and investigation into the whole tobacco, and that is purely it. But we have both sides and opposing figures and arguments here, when really it's not an argument. It should only be a discussion. But it's plainly obvious for me, Neil, that these people are sent out to defend this agenda, and act and try and portray people like us as fundamentalist religious peoples and crazy crackpot conspiracy theories, and that everybody's a liar and nothing's real, and all these sweeping generalisations. It's just infuriating. But again, it's a reflection on their stance, because if they were true and they really had science at the core of them, they would be open and welcoming it with open arms for us to have discussion and progress. But that's not what we see.
No, they don't. They don't want to discuss anything. No. Because it's true.
That's it.
That's it. And they can't argue with that. They can't. It's nothing.
And that's what I'm saying.
So,
you will never get somebody who's a so-called credible physicist or scientist trying to defend curvy water conforming to the exterior of shapes. You will get sophists who are looking for confirmation bias and to somehow sway by winning on an emotional base. It's like politics. And it's not scientific.
No, and you show it on your street interviews. Simple questions. Give me a simple answer, and they can't.
No.
They can't. You have to go into some pseudoscience.
Nobody can deny experiential nature. So that's the one thing that we all have in common, and it's the one way to wake everybody up to the nonsense that's been told. So
Yes, exactly.
Religion
to people like yourself, I tell people, but they don't want to know. Some people do, but they just think you're crazy, and that's what you're up against.
That's it.
If all I do is observe, saying, and proof's there.
That's changing now, though, Neil. I think that's changing now. I think people are starting to see it. Yeah,
it is.
That's why they're worried. That's why they're all here trying to snipe hangouts and shit.
Well, yeah, I've seen it, and it's not nice. But they can't win, because truth comes through all the time. No matter how they kick a scream, whatever they're going to do, it's all over.
Yeah, that's it. There's no going back. Regardless of what the dimensions and the true nature of reality is, it's there to be discovered and discussed and explored. And again, just people asking questions. If it was real science, it would be open to that. But we don't get that. We get ridicule and, as Gav says, sniping at hangouts and sophist nonsense. And then misrepresenting and slandering against people that they're some sort of religious tinfoil hat wearing. That's just not the reality of the situation at all.
No.
I mean, the good thing is, I keep getting back. Sorry, Neil.
That's fine. I've done this before, so I don't mean to interrupt her all. But I don't believe in anything. I like to know things, and I know that world don't spin, and I know that world's flat, and water don't bend. I know them. I don't believe them. I know them like I breathe. So they can talk what they want.
And I mean, the good thing is that even academics, or people that are invested in mathematics and physics, it's not that they're all against us. It's not a conspiracy. They're just as fallible as we all were, because they don't attend to the natural common sense, So it'll be just as easy to wake these people up once some of them start to crumble. Then they'll see it all for what it is too. It's only a matter of time. It's great to watch.
The people who push this agenda that the world's a ball. There must be some group of people what's doing it. Who knows why? But that's why they're kicking and screaming, because the truth's out now and they've had it.
Yeah.
So
that's a bit. What is it that they discovered? Why is it so important to them to convince us that it is a sphere?
Yeah.
What do they really know?
Well, we know it's to make you feel.
Yeah. And just like Gav says, it's not that everybody has to actively be lying. That's not how it is. People are fallible. People are born into it. They just believe it. They're swept up by the logical fallacy of everybody just believes it, therefore it must be true. And then there comes a point where people are going to question that. As I say, if it's real and it's true, then it should be open, with open arms to question.
Absolutely, that's exactly for every inquiry. You don't know. Otherwise, you don't have anything to inquire, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I went into space and all this and stuff like that, and then you figure out what's really going on, and it takes a lot out of you, really, when you realise, So we've all been there. I was there. I was one of them people who didn't realise the truth, And then when you do find it, you'll try and tell people and think it off your head, really. I think you're a fucking idiot. But we know.
Sorry.
Why would anybody want it?
But that's the important part, Neil. That's what's important. The very fact that we are people who believed what the majority of people believe as well. It's not that we just arrived here from another dimension saying, "Oh, the Earth's not a globe." But that's what people quickly forget and try and portray in a different light. We were just the same as the majority of the population believed it on blind faith.
But it's good to talk to people who are on the same thought patterns. You know what I mean?
Try again in 6 months. There'll be less resistance. It'll weaken daily because the common sense of people just can't be denied. You can't deny experiential nature. You can't deny lived life. You can't believe in things that don't exist in theories. You can't believe things in theories and then go out the next day and believe your common sense, but switch it off when somebody tells you something. That's just being hypocritical. People will wake up to that. It's they'll see that it's a fallacy what they're thinking. And then it's game over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Which is exactly what we're seeing happening now. And if they could prove to me it was a sphere, I'm not invested in anything. That's why I'm not invested in any map or model or any of these things. If somebody provides proof of where we are and what it is, then I accept it and I move on. I've got nothing invested to say that it's not a globe, or I don't want it to be a globe. I was fine with it being a globe. When it turns out when you turn your attention to it that it's not true, then that's not my problem. That's on the claimant, and anybody who wants to push it is true. They have to provide the proof.
They can't do it. Nobody's come on here with any proof yet, have they?
No, it's the usual. We get the same regurgitated nonsense of the stuff that we had looked at, without having to look at anybody else for it. Looking and understanding physics and science. There should be proof for it, and when it's not there, then how do you deal with that? Oh, there's no proof, but I'll still believe it. No, that's not me. I'm too honest with myself for that.
Yeah, exactly.
And we get the same regurgitated arguments, the same regurgitated sophism, and no offence to Jazz, being respectful and stuff, but misrepresenting the actual claims is just not going to get anybody anywhere. If anything, it's damaging the credibility if you're wanting people to believe it's a sphere, which for me just seems to be the MO. It's like the more this happens, the more ridiculous it becomes. If there was actual solid proof for it, it would be over. People like me wouldn't be here chatting about this right now.
Oh yeah, they could have shot it down in a couple of weeks, but they can't because it's true.
No.
That's the way it is. It was 2014 when I started to question it. And I was a white moon and sun in the sky at the same time. I couldn't understand it, so I had to go home and learn about it. And then I realised, well, it can't be. And then next thing you know, you're looking at different things, and they weren't much out. And I've just been watching it all unfold, and it is flat and it doesn't spin. That's it. Simple as that. They can't prove that it's spinning, can they? There's no experiment that it spins.
Absolutely, it's against all your senses. And the last bastion is still this, imagery and the play on visual perception and mathematics, which they've pillared up as the new religion that everybody's supposed to believe in. But if you look, and I did, I do have a background in maths and physics. I have a bucket of discernments that allows me maybe to look at that in a different way than other people. And all I can say is I found nothing but sophism, manipulation of language, and mathematics is not a proof of anything because it is a formal science. And people, if they have that distinction, then even academia needs to understand that it's not a proof of anything. So,
They even define it as such. That was part of the reason they had a problem with me, and they don't like it. You can go and look at their own definitions. If people think Wikipedia is, their God and true, it's even there. Type science in and it explains the subdivisions and, why they're classed as such. So academia has no option but to face up to that. That is the games and rules that have been set out. That is the understanding and agreements, and that was established, and it's just been manipulated to then bring mathematics back into the fold as being relevant and the overall power, when it's not.
Yep.
As a formal science, because it's a language, and language can be manipulated.
Yep. Definitions are neither true nor false. A definition is a definition. It can't. It's not true or false. It's a illusory duality again that's put up there. It's not. Yeah, I mean, the academics need to actually look at the very basics of the mathematics, the assumptions behind it, not at the equations. There's nothing wrong with the equations.
Yeah.
All the equations are rigorous, they're valid, they work. But that doesn't mean that the notion that's tied to the definitions of mathematics is real.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. They're just playing with words to tie a notion to your head about what it means. It's got nothing to do with the equations.
I can use English and I can say horses are real, and I can use English and I can say unicorns are real. The difference being using that language is that I can actually tangibly show you that horses are real, but I can't actually show you that unicorns are real, and that's for me as simple as it is when it comes to mathematics. It has to have the practical, real life, tangible experience to go with it, or it's absolutely meaningless.
Yeah, because it's all theory, if not.
Yeah.
That's what it all is. It's all theory. It's all
They try and tie it in that hypotheses like that should be valid as science. It's not valid as science. It's fucking religious hogwash. World views and taking stances, your philosophical stance belongs in religion. Pure science is purely the exploration and discovery of the world, the objective reality that we all share. And if it wanders from that, then it's not representing real science anymore, as far as I'm concerned.
And that's all they've got. Theory, it's all theory.
Yeah.
And that's why they're falling down. It's all theory and nonsense. Science nonsense. And people are waking up and it's all over.
That's it. And it comes right down to their nonsense about big bangs and all this as well. Practical examples, please. Please show me, how these things work, in a practical format. Show me, an example of it. Oh, no, I can't. It's so clearly, plainly obvious that it is a religion. And the definition of religion that I understand is religion has many aspects here. One of them being when you partake and have a worldview. Because if you're taking a worldview stance, you're taking a stance of thinking you know the objective truth when you don't, and it's not been established yet. So, when I see in, science, philosophical materialism, that to me is alarm bells, because I'm going, why is there a religious aspect involved in real science? That tells you everything without having to get too deep into it, So show me a practical example of Big Bang. Show me a practical example of how randomness forms these spheres and creates an invisible force, and that all this order and complexity comes from it. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. I saw some other day on YouTube saying they can't even make water. They can separate it, but they can't put it back together. It blows up. So that's how good they are. They know nothing.
No, they can't produce a seed from nothing. They can't produce any life from nothing. They can't produce any of these claims that they make. But they want to act like they're godly and that they have this capability when they don't have it. It's just nonsense. And as I say, talking earlier about it falling, it's fallen in every aspect now. And once people get it into their minds about empirical proofs and things being based on fact, then all that stuff will fall. Because you can break it down to its individual parts and look for the practical examples, and there's none.
That's just the big one. Since people realise that they don't live on a ball and it's not spinning, and all the other things will come into place.
So
it's like the umbrella. It's the big one. It covers everything. Once they know that it's not a ball, then they'll know about the people at the top of line and blah blah blah, and it'll just be like a domino effect.
Yeah.
This is the big one. You just got to know where you are.
Exactly.
It's also the one we can also all prove for ourselves. It's a self-evident truth that everybody can make. That water does not fucking curve. And that you are not spinning. So that's why it's so dangerous for people, because if people have that discernment and wake up to the fact that these discernments are necessary to see through the lies, then they'll see through every other lie.
Yeah, you just got to realise that it's not hard to grasp, is it? Really?
Not at all. We all have it in us.
You've got a critical mind, and you can look at it critically. There's no other way. There's only one way you're going to go, and that is not spinning and it's not a ball. And water never curves.
Well, that definition has to be cleared up with people, because you'll see the sophists will try and use it where water never curves, and they'll come up with things like, well, look at meniscus and look at what happens when you put a static charged balloon next to a running, well of water, and the water will flow and curve. But the definition is that it's a body of water conforming to the exterior of a shape. You can't provide any proof for that.
Yeah.
So people need to be careful, because they'll just pounce on it, because you're dealing with sophists here, so they will just look to twist it in any way they can. That's why they show meniscus and they show a droplet, they show a drip on a coin, or a drip on a flat surface and go, look, it's curving. You know, anything to misrepresent claim and to discredit what you're actually saying, you know. Because if you say water never curves and they show you a glass filled up with surface tension, they'll go, well, see, water does curve, therefore the earth can be a globe. You need to hammer them in onto their actual claim and represent it. When people show me a glass of water with meniscus, using it as proof of, you know, curving water or their claim, I would just then say to them, well, all you've proved to me is that the water has to be contained within a container like a glass, you know. Ask them to show you on an actual globular rock shape, you know, and they'll soon fall.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I should have said a large body of water, you know. That never curves, does it?
You know, it's not that I'm being pernickety or anything, but, you know, I know how these people operate, so I have to share that with people and try and kind of say to them, like, you know, be careful of how you're phrasing things because they'll just use it and turn it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's no worries. You know,
They know what you mean, but they'll still use it against you, you know?
Yeah, they will. Still nobody's come on yet, and then have they to give you proofs of the yet. Still waiting.
It's not going to happen. You know?
Yeah.
How can you prove something that's untrue, you know?
It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen.
No.
Hey, listen, guys, I need to clink out. So
yeah, I'm going to go soon as well. No, get stuff I need to be getting on with. I didn't intend for it to go this long, but hey ho.
good
Yeah,
speaking
cheers.
to you again, man. Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks Neil. Thanks Jazza. Thanks team.
Cheers, man.
See you guys.
See you later, mate.
Yes, if everybody's going, then I'll say bye and I'll speak to you again, hopefully.
No problem, Neil. You're welcome anytime, mate.
Cheers, mate. See you later.
Easy. Thanks for coming, bud. Thank you. Jazzaconda, are you still there listening? Yeah. If you're not there, no listening, I'll just say thanks for coming on. You know, never provided any proof, but, you know, you gave it a go. So at least you've got a bit more spine than any of the rest of them. But unfortunately, it's no proof. It's sophism. It's up to you to understand that. If you think you have any proof that you can provide us, that you represent your actual claims, then...
You get off your chair and you jump up and you land back where you were. Well, you will land back where you were. How much do you weigh? 89 kgs?
Yeah, 17 so whatever that is.
70.
Why am I hearing that? This Jazzaconda again. I'm just going to eject him. He's obviously not listening. So, Marshall, you there?
Yeah, I do.
Is anybody else looking to come in? I've not got time now anyway, but just so that I know.
No, there were several people that would like to come back on Saturday. They've had the link and they weren't quite organised once they got it. So
cool. No,
yeah.
Saturday we'll be back to the people again. You know, just for real people to come in and speak. Let us know you're there. So, but thanks again for this morning. As I say, I wasn't expecting it to go on so long. The whole point was to point out these characters and the manipulations that they partake in. If people are looking to see who they are, it should be becoming very apparent now. And again, you know, encourage you to make them irrelevant. Don't give them a place. Don't pander to them. No Stockholm Syndrome. It's time to move on past it. Marty Kay, 1968, how you doing, mate? News headline on Yahoo, firm unveils plan for skyscraper which hangs from an orbiting asteroid. Check it out. Marty, if you're still there, I'll give you a message shortly, mate, once I stop this broadcast. Aye. Vincent P, no bother, man, thank you. I will get to the mails. I know I've got a few mail messages sitting there. I'll have a look at them and respond to them. Probably be later on tonight, maybe in the morning, time I get finished or whatever. But, you know, I'm aware that there's some messages there and I will respond to them. Again, we'll be back on Saturday. It'll be opened up to the public, so anybody who wants to come in for a chat, discuss any issues, then fair enough. You know, you're more than welcome. Gary Anderson, I'll give you this day. Although I'm a glober, I still think a lot of you have a talent for vids. Oh, thank you very much. You know, maybe I can take fucking Letterman's position. You know, I'll have his lifestyle for a while. I don't know if people would put up with the fucking and blinding right enough, but, you know, I'm up for it. You know, these characters should move aside anyway because they offer people nothing. You know? Anyway, people, thanks and chat. It's appreciated. Marshall, thanks again, mate.
You're welcome, dude.
You're welcome, mate. I'll see everybody on Saturday. Take it easy. Peace.